of Morning Roast. Featuring Bonte Hill.
This baby Yama, all day, every day.
Oh, this is
Kate Scott.
She probably likes the tuna sandwiches from 7-Eleven.
And Joe Shesky.
I know I'm mediocre, but I'm going to give you the best effort I possibly can.
This is the Morning Roast. Presented by Timeless Coffee on 95.7 The Game.
2 down in the inning. Here is Asdrubal Cabrera, the veteran. He struck out his first time in the dirt and blocked by Casale. Wait a minute. Is he saying he took the mask off and used it to stop the ball?
That's exactly what he's saying. It's illegal. You can't do it. And they just cost him 2 increments of 90 feet.
And that was a microcosm of last night's game between the Giants and the D-backs. Giants lose 3-1. And that play by Kurt Casale, the balk. You can't use a mask to stop a ball. Kruko said it right there. Diamondbacks move up 2 bases. Next thing you know, Cabrera hits a 2-run double. Diamondbacks score 2 runs, and they win 3-1. That was, a lifeless game for the Giants, but that play right there felt like, you know what, it's just not going to be their night.
So I've spent many hours on a diamond. Playing, coaching, playing some more, coaching some more, umpiring, you name it.
Right.
I have never seen a catcher do that. Usually, again, when you have the two, I talked to you about the hockey mask, right? The hockey mask is all one piece, right?
Yep.
The one Casale uses is the shell with the front face, right? The front face thing, I always see everybody throw that away. You are instinctually taught when you're doing drills, throw the mask away. I never seen somebody lose the mask into their bare hand and then use that to cup the ball like that. I just never seen that. And I know for a fact, because I've seen this happen in games, where a shortstop goofing around will throw their glove up in the air at a live ball, and that's obviously a dead ball. You're not allowed to do that. But I have never in my life seen a catcher do that. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Never seen it in Major League Baseball with my own 2 eyes. It's probably happened, but I've never seen it before. And why did Kurt Casale do that? Why? I mean,
it was a weird instinct. I think the mask fell into his bare hand, and he just went and boom and did it.
It was strange, man. It was strange. And, you're sitting there thinking, man, I'm scratching my head. I don't know if I've seen that before. And the Diamondbacks advance, runners go to second and third, and next thing you know, they put the game away. And it felt like 3 runs is all they needed last night because Madison Bumgarner was dealing. But one thing, look, he looked good. And I want to say good morning to everybody on YouTube right now. Good morning to everybody on YouTube. Good morning to all the roasters on Twitch. Love you on Twitch right now. And then good morning to everybody on the text line. As we're going to have a fun show today. I know you, that's your pet peeve. When everybody says, oh, today's going to be a great show. No, today's really going to be fun because Trey Lance continues to wow people. And, we
got a bad show scheduled for you.
You know what? All we're going to do is talk about how Trey Lance is going to take Jimmy Garoppolo's job sooner rather than later. If you didn't believe us yesterday, if you didn't believe us on Monday, if you didn't believe us last week, when are you going to start believing that Trey Lance is the best quarterback down in Santa Clara? But we'll do that a little bit later. Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody will debut for the Golden State Warriors later today at the California Classic at 5 p.m. And guess what, folks? We're taking the show up to Sacramento. Shasky and I will take the road trip up to Sacramento to check out Moody and Kuminga in their debut for the Golden State Warriors. Justinian Jessup, maybe he's just not ready for the NBA quite yet. I don't know. We'll get to that a little bit later. But Matt Bub looked good yesterday. But one issue I had, Shasky, with the Giants is I get the numbers, right? You don't want lefties in a lineup. You want to load your lineup with right-handed hitters. But I got to get my best hitters in the game. And that means Yaz needs to start. I don't care if he's a left-handed batter. Crawford, maybe he needs a day off, but I need to see him against a lefty. I don't like this thing where managers and teams, they just say, you know what? Oh, we're going against a lefty. We're going to throw all the righties in the lineup. Or some of your hitters. I saw this Cody Bellinger a few years ago in the World Series against the Red Sox. The Dodgers benched Cody Bellinger for 2 games.
Yeah.
I just don't. And this is an American League park where he could at least DH'd. I don't like it, Shasky. I don't like when the Giants do this.
Well, you got to understand this. So I get where you're coming from in terms of wanting to see. Just forget, righty lefty, all those matchups, right? I just wanted to see Crawford and Posey against Bumgarner.
Right.
That was an interesting thing that I would like to have seen. Like, for me, on an entertainment level, this is equivalent to, Ohtani going up against Judge and Stanton, and Judge and Stanton taking the night off. It's like, what are we doing? Even though Ohtani got blown up in the first inning. But it's like, look, there is an entertainment value to this. You have Wednesday and Thursday games against Arizona, and then you go right into a weekend series.
I get it.
So there's no day off.
Right.
So you had to pick one of them.
And this is probably the one that's more ideal against Bumgarner or whatnot.
But, okay, that's from the numbers.
From the numbers.
From the eyeballs and the entertainment value, personally and selfishly, I wanted to see them go up against Bumgarner. I will say this regarding the numbers. Yes, they are beholden to the numbers on certain things, but they have shown a flexibility, whether it's Dickerson going up against certain lefties. It's not a hard rule. They don't necessarily follow the rule all year long, every single time. I do feel like there is some gut being involved in these decisions. Look, B, I mean, come on. At the end of the day, you score only a couple of runs down in Arizona.
It was a dud.
It was. And then when you wave the white flag and you bring in Aaron Sanchez, Aaron Sanchez is the human cigar. That is Red Auerbach smoking the cigar on the bench. When that guy comes in, dude, they're like, he sits between 88 and 91. It's like, no, he doesn't. He sits red dead in the middle of the zone, nibbling until he throws a meatball over the middle. He is the human white flag. When he came into that game, I was like, it's curtains. And I don't blame him, because, look, you're down in that game, and you just want somebody to eat up some bullpen innings so you don't waste some of your good arms.
You know what, though? He didn't give up a run yesterday. Surprisingly. He walked 4 guys. He just looks stiff. It looks like a matter of time before he gets hurt. He's 91. Remember the workout before the season? People had the cameras out there clocking him at 95 and 96. He hasn't thrown more than 91 all season long, so the velo is down. But I'll give him credit. 3 innings, gave up 1 hit. Yeah, he walked 4 guys, didn't give up a single run. So I'm happy with that. He got out of there, and you didn't use the rest of your bullpen arms. You didn't have to go to the rest of the bullpen, because he was able to kind of give you that mop-up duty type of relief there last night. So
Aaron Sanchez, the custodian. Get him the mop bucket, Dave Chappelle.
Get him Johnny Cueto. Johnny Cueto gets 7 strikeouts. The season high for Johnny Cueto, 7 strikeouts yesterday against the D-backs. 5 innings, 6 hits. But Bub, because we're already seeing the text here, 888-957-9570. We love our text line, as well as our roasters on YouTube and Twitch. And on YouTube, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to us. Hit that like button. Give us a thumbs up. Heck, give us a thumbs down if you feel like we're not bringing it today. I'm cool with a thumbs down. Make me step my game up.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people here, 510. It was tough watching the game last night. I named my daughter Madison after Mad Bub. I was hoping for a 1-0 Giants win. Also, 925. We owed an extension to Bub, and I hope it doesn't come back to bite us. Our missing piece is Madison Bumgarner.
So let's get into Bumgarner.
Let's get into it, because
right.
7 innings last night, 6 hits, only 4 strikeouts, but he kept the Giants off balance. And since he's come back from the DL, he came back July 16th after missing 6 weeks. 6 innings, 2 runs. 5 innings, 3 runs. 7 innings, 2 runs. 7 innings last night, 1 run. He's been pitching better since he's come back off the DL.
There are certain athletes that have played for the teams that I love that I'll love forever. I don't even care if they're garbage anymore or not, or if they're not as what they once were. Navarro Bowman comes to mind, right, B? Like, I knew Navarro Bowman was pretty much finished,
right?
But I love Navarro Bowman, and this guy gave his body to the organization, and it's unfortunate, and it sucks that it had to end. But the reality was he couldn't play anymore. You know what I mean? You couldn't play him in space. Madison Bumgarner, on a different level, obviously, is one of those guys. Come on, I'm always going to have a soft spot for Madison Bumgarner. But I said this, and I will continue to say this. The Giants need to do everything they can to get this guy back into their rotation. They got nobody under contract. You look at what these contracts are for starting pitchers.
Right.
You're telling me Bum ain't going to age into a 3, 4, 5 starter? Even at his worst, you wouldn't trust handing him the ball in a late September moment?
Right.
I mean, come on, man.
Would you have re-signed him, though? Because I thought it was a good move. If you were going to move off a Bum the way they did, I thought Bobby Evans was he was the GM, should have flipped him in 2018 when he had a year left on his deal. But the moped incident happened. All of a sudden, he doesn't have any value. He struggled a bit.
He needs to own up to some of it. He never was in the top peak physical shape. I mean, B, let's be real. When he got to Arizona and you saw him in the first, I don't know, 6 months or so with them, he was big.
He was big.
He was really big.
He was getting lit up. He wasn't throwing more than 86 miles per hour.
No, and so whether it's, bullets catching up to him, not working out, I don't know what it was. He looks really good physically.
He does.
I mean, not that he's ever going to be a thin guy, but he looked at the perfect weight that he needs to be at. Thick, but still able, like he wasn't busting a sweat. Last few times I saw him pitch, last year specifically, he was sweating so much early on. He just looked out of shape. And yesterday he just looked crisp. And that changeup, when he's got that 86-mile-an-hour changeup going and that little slurvy action where he hides the ball behind his back.
Oh, yeah.
Look, man, I said he had Andy Pettit-like stuff where I think he could sling it till he's 45 if he wants. I still believe that. I don't think he's ever going to be a Cy Young type guy. He never was, though.
No,
he never was a regular season dominator. He is a dude that sits in cruise control, and when he's on, he can effortlessly throw you 150 pitches in a night.
And how many times did you want to grab the tissue paper last night when you were watching the highlights of the 2014 World Series Game 7? And John Miller and Mike Krukow on NBC Sports Bay Area were discussing his starts. Look, I remember the Texas start in the World Series in 2010 where he was just absolutely dealing. I had forgotten about the Atlanta start, going back to Turner Field when he was a Braves fan, and all of a sudden the game after Brooks Conrad. I forgot about that game.
His best start, in my opinion, the one that no one ever talks about, is Game 5 in Texas after he got basically removed from the rotation, and him and Righetti worked on the side, and he came out and dealed a gem at 20 years old. Absolute gem.
Was that Game 4? Game 4.
Was it 4?
They won at 5. Yeah.
So then there you go. 5
they lost
was
to Jonathan Sanchez start. They lost to Jonathan Sanchez start in that World Series. Game 5 was Lincecum. Yeah.
Apologies.
No,
but you
it's
get where
all
I'm
good.
going
Yeah, I
at
get
with
where
that
you're
one.
going. Yeah.
And for a 20-year-old to do that, I mean, it was next level stuff. Absolute next level stuff. But again, it's not just the Giants. It's him bearing some of the responsibility that, like, when you live a reckless, and I'm being real here, reckless lifestyle of doing the rodeo stuff, like, look, man, you're putting yourself in harm's wrist. When you did the dirt bike thing, he torpedoed the Giants season.
He did.
All right, and I know it's tough to say out loud because he was a champion and he's an all-time legend.
And he carried the Giants in 2014 in the postseason.
It's hard for me to look away from what he did because I remember I was on the golf course when I got that notification. He separated his shoulder? Are you kidding me?
No, where I was at, I was in Chicago. I was I was actually flying out to Chicago. I got off the plane, and the Sharks were in a playoff game, I think, that time. They were playing somebody. I'm watching it on the way to Anna's house when she was living in Chicago. And I'm like, wait, Mad Bum did what? It was like 420. Wasn't it like 420 or something like that?
I don't know, but it was springtime right before the season was just about to start, or maybe it had just started.
NHL playoffs.
And I was up in Bodega Bay with my brother and my cousins, and I remember all of a sudden I get Wi-Fi notice, and I'm like, dirt bike, Mad Bum, and then the phone just started ringing.
It was out of control. And then the rodeo stuff. And look, good for Mad Bum. He got his money, went down to Arizona. I'm just happy he didn't become a Dodger.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to Arizona. But it doesn't feel like he's going to end his career in Arizona. But the stuff looked electric yesterday. Even against the righties, Bryant was off balance. Slater, all these guys. Kirk Casale, despite the balk, was the only one to get good contact off of Madison Bumgarner yesterday. I did think they had a shot in the first inning. Solano hit a seed right past Bumgarner's face. Arizona was positioned well behind second base. They were able to get out the inning. That may have been the time to strike, catching Madison Bumgarner early in that game. Because once he started rolling, it was a wrap.
Yeah, and there's no doubt. Once he starts getting locked in and he can start to smell, a little bit of blood in the water, that guy absolutely starts to put it in cruise control. And it looks effortless. And that's the part of Bumgarner's kind of game where you're like, he's such a feel guy. He's so anti the current style of baseball.
Right.
He doesn't throw maximum heat. He doesn't launch angle it in terms of, his approach at the plate or anything like that. He doesn't try to, throw with tons and tons of spin. He's a feel guy. You know what I mean? And I think it's really hard to get feel on that baseball in Arizona. It's like the worst location for a starting pitcher to go to.
No doubt. What is your favorite moment of Madison Bumgarner's career with the Giants? 888-957-9570. Mine, it's got to be Game 7 against the Royals for me. I mean, that was just iconic. Coming out of the bullpen there like he was Paul Bunyan, and you just see the Kansas City Royals fans like, uh-oh, it's on.
Well, the one for me, forget the postseason. Let's just put that to the side because we know postseason is going to supersede anything. It's the opening day when Melanson blew the save when he hit 2 home runs and threw 8 innings.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the all-time sickest moments I remember as a Giants fan.
What about the Kershaw when he hit a home run off of Kershaw at Oracle Park?
Was
that badass?
When he wears the one black glove, he's just so old school.
He is so old school. And today's start, I think, is very important for not only Kevin Gausman, but for the Giants moving forward. They'll face Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen coming off, I believe, a good start last time I checked. But Kevin Gausman has struggled out of the blocks coming out of the All-Star break. This is a huge start for him tonight, I believe, down in Arizona.
I think you're on to something there because 3 in a row, 4 in a row. Now we're starting to talk about a trend, and he's sliding in the wrong direction. And it's not like Arizona's a world beater. I mean, they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. But this is what happens in baseball. Anybody can creep up and take 3 out of 4 from you. Anybody at any time. And you watching the way how hard Marte's playing or Calhoun.
That was Drupal Cabrera.
That guy's hitting shots. The last 2 games, he's having the best 2 games of the season against the Giants. Every time he steps up to the plate, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. The bat thing is out of control.
It's
when he
out of
points the bat.
man.
I'm being real. My dad would just throw at him if he was pitching.
Why not, man? Why not? Zach Gallen, who will face the Giants today, 6 innings last time out against the Dodgers at home, 8 strikeouts in that game, induced 6 ground balls and 10 fly balls, only gave up 2 runs against the Dodgers in that start. So look, Diamondbacks is playing with house money. They're playing with house money. They feel like they got a jolt. Cabrera's playing well. Cole Calhoun is back. Gausman has to find a split again. He has to find that split finger again. This is a very important start for him. Really, it may be this. I don't want to say it's the biggest start of the season for him, but he's got to get at least 6 innings here and just get some confidence going.
So for me, the thing that I'm going to be focused on, our team's going to be sitting on that splitter like they have the last couple of weeks, where they're not chasing. His spin rate's down. That's not good. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was a little dead arm. Maybe it's him trying to recapture some of the, just the rhythm he was in before the All-Star break. But, clearly he's been disrupted. And I also think there was a personal side of this, which we don't want to acknowledge. But when you're going through some stuff with your wife and you're trying to have a child and there's some hospital situations, how can you not be a little distracted on a personal level?
No doubt. No doubt about that. 6:45 first pitch, Giants and Diamondbacks, and what has been kind of a sleepy series. These 2 games it's been sleepy. I've had Summer League on. I was watching the verses between the Locks and Dipset, which Jadakiss just took over and went Michael Jordan Game 6 on Dipset and shut them down. I mean, it was just like, this game's just kind of like, who was out there at Chase? Anybody out there at Chase Field in Arizona? If you were out there was 8,000?
Yeah, that was Candlestick on a Tuesday night against the Expos in 1993. You could walk right up to the front of the dugout. By the way, my dad's checking in. Cabrera has been Muncy-esque against us.
All right, we got to get Pop's voicemail. We got to get Pop's voice.
Are we ready to do this?
I think we're ready to do this.
So here's the only problem.
I think he's losing his mind. How many texts did he send you about last night's game?
None. But,
really?
Yeah, none.
I'm shocked.
I know.
Even he was sleepy during this series.
I'm sure that he was enjoying Bumgarner. He's always been a Bumgarner guy. But here's the thing with the voicemails. I'm afraid that if my dad starts leaving the voicemails, he thinks it's performance art, and he's going to try to give me his broadcaster voice. I want authentic Pops. So we got to find a way to do the V. Stiviano and tape him without him knowing.
Yes.
I don't know how we can figure this out, but we're going to have to do that way.
No, I think that's the way to move. That's the way to move. And now in the back of his mind, he's going to be thinking are you recording me, Joe? No, of course not, Pops. Of course not. Of course not.
Yeah.
But we need that. Max Muncy has.
But he has. And here's the thing. When Cabrera gets in the box and he does this pointing thing and he's leaning back, I swear to God, I would step off the mound and I'd just chuck one out.
And he's just sitting there looking at you with the bat out.
It's so absurd.
It's so cocky.
And you said he's batting 246? Get the hell in the box.
What's coming up on the game? Brought to you by Stanford Healthcare. Games World. Then we'll get into some Summer League action in Trey Lance. The hype is real, folks. The hype is real. You better start drinking the Kool-Aid now before it's too late. Trey Lance will be starting sooner rather than later. And yes, the back foot throw that took over the internet yesterday.
How about Paul Bunyan? Here we go from Bleezy H-Boy. When Mad Bum came out opening day riding a horse.
That was wild.
Come on.
I got some thoughts on that on the other side. I got some thoughts on that on the other side. Shasky Bonte, Kate at the Olympics here on The Roast.
For the 7th year in a row, Stanford Hospital has been ranked.
Wait a minute. Is he saying he took the mask off and used it to stop the ball?
That's exactly what he's saying. It's illegal. You can't do it. And they just cost him 2 increments of 90 feet.
Now, back to the morning roast, presented by Timeless Coffee with Kate, Bonte, and Shasky.
Shout out to Timeless Coffee getting us through another day, another morning here on a Wednesday, hump day. Thanks to all the roasters on Twitch and YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Like what we're doing here. If you want to go thumbs down on us, that's fine too. As we talk a little Giants, we'll get to Trey Lance in a little bit. And NBA Summer League last night, we saw Davion Mitchell for the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
Gideon Jessup. How Warrior fans feel about that? We'll get to that a little bit later.
And did you notice, and I think we've maybe we've forgotten about, because we're going on Twitch and YouTube and Odyssey app. If you're listening the traditional way on the radio, did you notice the traffic was a little wild today?
No, I got in pretty smooth.
Okay, because again, wild traffic is like 10 cars on the freeway at this early in the morning. But like I noticed, because 101 right at the 280-101 split near my house,
there's
near
construction
Alamany,
going on.
Yeah, and so there's way more people on 280, and I just wasn't accustomed to it.
Yeah, no, 101. I saw it yesterday where they had the cones out because I come in from 101 South. I get in by the airport,
like a demon on 101 South. I smoke chewy like a.
Hey man, I'm speeding like crazy, right? And shout out, who is that? Nicotina. I said that, Nicotina.
Yeah,
Nicotina. I just had to guess. Yeah, no doubt. But
Shasky.
So I'm driving up, and like the construction starts at Candlestick Park, at the old Candlestick Park. Away, I drive by there every day, and I look to the right,
sad, isn't it?
And I'm just like, oh man, my kid's not going to know there was a big time stadium right there.
I know.
To the right. So I'm driving up. And the other day, they had cones up to where I had to stay all the way in the left lane as if I was going up 101.
Yeah, but you were in the Batmobile, so you were going stealth mode.
No, I was straight up stealth mode. I drove through the cones, got the 280, that 280 splitting. But there was a lot of it's starting to pick up a little bit.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Thank God.
Well, I don't. Yes, I like no traffic, But obviously, with traffic, we're getting back to normalcy, right?
Yeah.
But at the
there's
same
a give
time,
and
I'm
take.
like, I kind of like just speeding through.
Just,
Nobody's on the
just
freeway.
get me through football season, please. Selfishly, I just want to go to some
So you go
football games.
101 to 280.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I go 280 north to 380 as we're doing freeway talk here on 95.7 The Game.
Right.
I go 280 to 380.
Yep, right by my crib.
Then
You're
to
right by my
101. So I do the opposite.
See, the reason I don't like 101 coming through is on the right-hand side as you shoot up and over Oyster Point Bay, there's always a CHP
There-
chilling.
There usually
Always.
is. There usually is, but not that early in the morning. I'm straight up
You know
stealth
what I'm
mode.
talking about?
I know exactly
Where
what
the
you're
old
talking
Alex
about.
Smith sign used to be the old Patrick Willis
Oh, yeah.
49er sign right there in Oyster Point Bay.
But you know what I do? I put the Waze
Brisbane
up.
action.
I put the Waze up just to see where the cops are at. If they're lurking, people will let you know on Waze.
You driving dirty, chameleon?
I'm not driving dirty. I'm just driving fast. That's all I'm doing. But that 380 split, that's
Yeah.
funny, Steven, because I would just stay on 280 at that point instead of going from 280 to 380 and then 101. You might as well just stay on 280.
Yeah, but then you got to hit the lights on Embarcadero
Yeah.
after 280, and those ones, they get me. I did it one time, and I was just like, nah, I'm good.
I
So
love
you
those
don't
lights.
take King Street exit?
No.
Wow.
I take 4th Street off 101.
Yeah, see, I'm
Interesting.
King Street. I
Yeah.
smash. Nothing better than going super fast.
And then that
you-
little dip,
Yeah,
that little dip, the
Oh,
little
I love
dip.
it. I
And then
love
you got
it.
Oracle Park right there a
Yes.
block later. You're driving by the Cal train station. And if you catch the lights,
He's
you're
right.
good to go.
You're good to go.
But if you don't catch that light, you're waiting.
That dip is only the second best dip on 280's freeway. The best one, in my opinion, is coming home as you go past Potrero Projects on the right-hand side and you start to really cruise and you're going up and down.
But you dip on the way downtown too on
For
280. Where you're
sure.
going past that same junction, you're
Absolutely.
dipping. The best dip in the city, though, was on Golf Street.
Oh, come on.
Golf, you know what I'm talking about?
Come
Golf
on.
and what is that? What did it say?
Hey,
Turk,
all right.
maybe? Or that dip was great.
We're gonna get to Gabe's World in just one second. Get very serious here. One night, I'm gonna tell you, we're coming down to Viz one night, and I'm in my boy Vito Azzolino's
Right.
little throwback GTO. He had one of those like Shelby's or whatever,
Right.
and we're smashing, and we're going like it's like 4 a.m. This is way before Uber, and he accordioned some car who was just stuck at the light because we didn't see him. We came smashing up and over Diviz, and boom, we hit a red light. And just crushed some Honda Civic, and it just accordioned his car, and it's one of those dips that you don't notice during the day, but when you're smashing at night, going from one end of the city to the other, it'll catch you. And we
catch
caught
ya.
some air, and then we caught some bumper.
Oh, that's not good. By the way, on Twitch, the Paul exit on 280 South is no joke. It's one of the Paul exit right there.
Yes.
When you're by the
Yes.
junction and you're going 101 South, that Paul exit is no joke. You got to be quick on that little turn there. The Alameda exit is wild as well. So, as the 408 says, thanks for the traffic report.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to
All
sports.
right,
We will move on to
well,
sports.
let's go back into it. All right, give me some Gabe's World.
I think we'll go with a little Bohemian Rhapsody, gentlemen. Good call.
When it comes to Gabe Kapler, anything goes.
First of all, I think pressure is always a good thing. The brightest lights can sometimes bring out the best performance.
Now he's been ejected. Kapler's been ejected by Joe West.
Panda costumes and baby giraffes and all of the fans of San Francisco.
Gabe Kapler's 100% right. Kapler launches one. Fair or foul. It's gone! Gabe Kapler has won it!
It's time for Gabe's World.
So I think a lot of people are going to be talking about the Kirk Casale play, which I'd never seen before, where he puts the mask over the ball. But to me, it was what Gabe Kapler said in the pregame show that, to me, just resonated more with me as a member of this community. And it was regarding some of the racist comments that Jay Jackson received on social media. And I want to hear from Gabe Kapler, and then I want to have just a serious conversation for a minute with the audience.
Yeah, I think Jay is totally open to criticism about his performance, but anytime race is, we get racist comments from anybody, it's completely unacceptable and quite disgusting, to be honest with you. And it's something that our players and our staff in the clubhouse are going to rally around Jay about. I thought Jay addressed it very well. And I thought the Giants fans did an awesome job of surrounding Jay with support. And I think that was really helpful in helping Jay get through the day.
So, obviously, Gabe Kapler is, the manager of the Giants. But to me, when you put on the jersey, and maybe other people don't agree with me on this, but when you put on the jersey, you do represent the community on some level. I'm not saying on the deepest level. You're not the mayor. You're not London Breed. But you are representing this community. And I remember when Culliver made a bunch of dumb comments during the Super Bowl, and I was like, you can't represent our community and talk like that. I'm sorry. And when I hear Gabe Kapler defend, obviously Jay Jackson, and then basically call out these racist comments on social media, I felt a sense of pride, and I also felt a sense of, Jesus, criminy people. We're still doing this? I know it is still happening because you and I experience a lot of hatred on social media on such a lower level.
Right.
I don't get racist comments, but I see things that are said about you. I see things that are said about other people, and that's at this station on the lowest of low levels. Not that we're celebrities at anything. I can't even imagine someone logging in and typing the things that he posted that I saw on Jay Jackson's social media feed. It's sick. It's sad, but this exists in every corner and every nook of the entire country. And I know people want to say it doesn't. It's just really, really sad. And I'm glad Gabe Kapler called it out because to me, this is a guy that just gets it.
So what made me a big Gabe Kapler fan? The way he addressed the social justice issues last season for the Giants, he knelt. He said, look, I'm kneeling during the national anthem because I get it. And that won a lot of black people over when it comes to Gabe Kapler. Mm-hmm. It did. It means something to us. Now, I saw the Jay Jackson tweets there and the people DMing him with look, they're hiding behind no avatars.
It's the worst.
No face. And they're getting mad about a regular season game. A regular season game, and you want to go racist on them. Now, unfortunately, I have experienced some of that stuff on the lower level. Not to that, extent, but I've heard that. Heck, I worked at another radio station, and a guy who is not even living in the state anymore slipped up and called me the N-word. And having that happen in person was like, well, if I do something about this, I'm going to lose my job. How do I stay composed and just kind of try to brush it? It's sickening that's the first word that will come out of your mouth when somebody makes a mistake, a person of color, that you got to go racist and call them a name or something like that. So, they have some mental issues. They're sick. They're punks because they hide behind Twitter and the internet, and it's the lowest of the lows, and they're cowards, straight up. And made me a bigger Jay Jackson fan because he did address it and say, look, man, I didn't pitch well. I gave up a bomb to Altuve, all right? I haven't pitched well my last 2 times out. I get it. I blew it against Arizona, into which we had to go to extra innings. But you got to go to the DMs like that, and it happens all the time. And guess what, Shasky? It's never going to stop.
No,
it's going to happen all the time when a person of color make these mistakes.
The thing is, if we just remove race for a second, I know it's really hard to, and B, I try to be as empathetic as possible to put myself in your shoes. How can I? I'm a white dude.
Right.
It's really difficult for me to, and I experience certain things that you will never have to experience, and you experience way more things that I will never, ever, ever be able to comprehend and understand. So maybe this seems kind of weird coming out of my mouth, but the things that I saw, and I'm just like, man, these people that are making this, think of how low you must be feeling in your life to log in and create some fake account or whatever, non-avatar, don't show your face account, and to spew this. I mean, you want to talk about sickness?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You got to call these people out. You need to expose them into the light. That's the thing that I've learned and realized. You can't just keep it moving because then they start to create rhythm on the internet and they start to gain traction. And then because you're not calling them out on their stuff, they're actually empowered.
It happened to the guys, when England lost the Euro Cup to Italy.
Yes.
And the young black teen, the 19-year-old.
Yeah, who did the penalty kick.
Yeah, the penalty kicks, and they missed 3 straight penalty kicks. And Langford could chime in on this because he knew the players, and that was a tough loss for England. And the first thing people did was go to their Instagram page. Not all people, but a lot of people just said, you know what, I'm going to just drop racist comments and tell these guys to get out of our country by calling them every racist slur in the book. And it's like, we got to just say they suck. Hey, if you want to talk about them, hey, you suck. You missed a kick. But you got to go racist on them. You got to go to the lowest of the lows. It's sickening, man. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. And look, the reason that I bring this up and the reason that we talk about I'm not just going to keep it moving because these people need to be exposed, period.
No doubt.
And it's unacceptable. And I've said this time and time and time and time again. Racism to me is one of those things that is taught at the dinner table over years and years and years of conversations. Children don't just pick these things up.
Right.
Okay? These are things that are embedded into them, and we need to break that cycle and expose these sick, lonely, disturbed individuals. And I'm not filing under mental illness. I'm filing under you are sick and you need to be completely rehabilitated. And it disgusts me, but I'm happy on some level. Not happy, but I'm satisfied that Gabe Kapler understands these things need to come to the light. Otherwise, we're going to keep seeing more and more of them.
And it's not a representation of what Giants fans are all about.
No.
It's not at all. Giants fans embrace everybody.
But
you think about the franchise. Go ahead.
No, there are bad people in every town.
There is.
There is a bad part of every town. I believe that. And there are people who just think what they think, and it's wrong. You know,
doubt.
and it's just sickening.
No doubt about that. This segment was presented by Golden State Lumber, open from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, with some locations open on a Saturday. Visit GoldenStateLumber.com for more information.
I love Kapler, by the way. I just want to say that.
Kapler has won
and by
me
the way,
over. Won me over.
As a quick joke, as we pivot, from a serious topic, I do think he needs to work on leg day. I noticed that yesterday.
All right, man. We're going to get into leg day. And is it time to get into Trey Lance? Is it time to get into Trey Lance?
Your boy is wearing a white Jeff
people
Garcia
ready for that?
jersey, number 5 today.
Are we ready for that? Let's go. Here on the road, Shasky Bonte, 95.7 The Game.
It's time for On the Road with Toyota with Mealy and Maitland. Hop in the car from San Francisco across the Bay Bridge to Oakland.
happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
Oh, hey, Buzz.
Okay, well, let's try it again.
Smile on my face.
Nope, that's still happy.
Have a change of heart with Honey Nut Cheerios. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Now, back to the morning roast, presented by Timeless Coffee.
We get the dance with the land. Yeah, dance with the land. We get the dance with land.
With Kate, Vontae, and Shasky.
Oh, my God. Before we dance with Lance, before we do, they're showing a replay of the Giants game from last night on NBC Sports Bay Area.
Yes.
And remember I forgot who it was. We had a caller. Or
yeah, we were talking about how
Texers.
jacked Gabe Kapler is.
But the legs are skinny. The legs are skinny. And I just peeped his calves.
Yeah.
I may have bigger calves than Gabe Kapler.
You think?
I mean, you see the stirrups there? You're right. They're toothpick calves.
Right.
He has some toothpicks as legs. Like, the calves look skinny. The upper body's great. He's got the two buttons on, but he's got two buttons unbuttoned, I should say. He's got the specs on, but his legs are skinny. Like leg day. He's skipping leg day. We should ask Gabe Kapler about that. Or
yeah.
Kai Correa. Like, does Gabe Kapler skip leg day?
Kai Correa, we got to get him on again. Absolutely. But here's the thing, like, I think Gabe is really, like, obviously noticing that his calves aren't big enough because the guy's riding the bicycle all over the city. By the way, last night, keep it real, when I put out that tweet about you looking like Klay Thompson, like, so Klay Thompson and the Warriors Twitter put out a tweet last night, and it's Klay with sunglasses on. He's got the 1988 boombox, like he's, Radio Raheem, and then he's got the shades on, wearing the new blue Warrior throwback jersey.
Right. The jersey's sweet.
I think I said something to the effect of, this is what Bonte Hill thinks he looks like when he walks into the studio.
This is how I imagine Bonte Hill thinks he looks like when he walks into the studio. And I quote tweeted it by saying, I see no lies. Because when I walk into the studio, I envision myself walking into the studio with 2 gold chains on, fat ropes, taco meat showing, dope kicks, dope sneakers, headphones on with just so much swag. Like I'm walking in like I'm Razor Ramon or something. And I'm walking into the studio like you can't stop me. That's why the pregame drive.
No toothbook, Dusty?
No wristbands on everything. That's why the pregame drive is so important to me to get myself going. That's what gets me ramped up. That's my layup line. Getting ready for the show. It's not the pregame show that we sit into the green room and talk about the show. It's the drive into the studio.
Feel you on that.
And it's just like you get the beats bumping in, and people are looking at us. We're bumping Tupac at 5:35 in the morning. We're bumping Biggie at 5 in the morning.
4:45.
JD Kiss was on display this morning after his verses yesterday. I was on a roll. Today I was a little late. I got to the studio about 5:15.
Bumping Stephen Langford on the pregame show from 5 to 6 every morning, Monday through Friday.
Well, you know what I do sometimes? Because I do need music to get me going. Langford does get me going. Langford does get me going with this intro. He comes on, right? Whatever beat he's playing, I'm like, damn, this is some heavy stuff. I'm bobbing my head, and I just hear, yes, sir. What's up, family? And then he pauses for like 5 seconds. And I'm like, damn, that's pretty good.
I got to catch my breath.
Dude, I'm like, I want to steal that. He just comes in. No, he comes in, seriously. What beat are you playing, Langford?
It's Wake Up by Rage Against the Machine.
Dude, that beat slaps. Whatever it is.
Okay.
I don't even know the group.
All right.
The beat slaps.
We've been talking about this, and now I got to bring this up. I have an idea for a segment. It's going to be called Pandora's Box. So Pandora was a music. I don't even know if people still do Pandora.
Nobody uses Pandora.
Okay, but we're going to.
You use your skips up, right? You skip a song, you get like 3 skips.
And then you get like commercials. Right. It's for days. But I use iTunes and I use Spotify, all right? Or whatever it's called, iMusic, whatever they're calling it now. I want to do a segment called Pandora's Box where we play a song, and Bonte gets 3 chances to figure out who the artist of the song is, and he gets 1 lifeline. What do you guys think?
I love that.
Isn't it great? So, Rage Against the Machine. Can you name 1 Rage Against the Machine song?
I cannot. I can't name 1 song. Rage Against the Machine, who's that?
What? Who's that?
Who's that? Rage Against the Machine?
Well, here's the thing, too.
Who's that?
With them specifically, some of the names of the songs don't make sense for the song. Because, like, the title of the song, like when I was looking for Woohoo, whatever the heck the name of that one is, it's called something else.
Woohoo? They got a song named Woohoo?
That is not Rage Against the Machine.
Who's that?
I think that's a band named Blur.
Oh, that's Blur. That's right. See,
I'm
off.
Yeah, you see, now you're
Lifeline.
off. Now you're crossing me up. But no, Langford comes in with Rage Against the Machine. Now that I know that, wake up. Can you pull up the beat too, Langford, when you get a chance? Pull up the beat. And it's just slapping, Shasky. So I click to the radio at 5 in the morning. I go back to music. I'm not going to lie. Because I walk in at about 5 in the morning, so I hear Langford. But I got to hear those yes, sir. Because a yes, sir gets me going. It's something about the yes, sir that gets my mojo working. And I just hear... Yes, sir! What's up, family? Yeah, this right here. I'm like, oh my gosh. It feels like a wrestling. Feels like somebody's coming out from the ring or into the ring out of the locker room at WWE.
Hey,
seriously.
Keep it real. You think that guy's a white guy too, right?
Absolutely. It's definitely a white guy. It's definitely a jacked up 6'6".
Kapler's music.
It's somebody who's 6'6", veins bigger than my biceps. Steroided out, walking into the ring with long curly hair, sweating already. And then next thing you know, I'm just like, I just hear Langford, yes, sir!
Oh, my God.
What's up, family?
All right, so if we're going to do this...
You like that, huh, Langford? That's what he does.
We're all over the place.
Come on, man. Yes, sir! Hey, you know what I was doing when Trey Lance dropped that bomb yesterday in practice?
What were you doing?
Yes, sir!
All right, let's start.
What's up, family? We got a quarterback.
Let's start Pandora's box right now, then. Can you name who is the artist behind this song? Trey Area!
Steven, get in there. Wait till you see Trey Lance.
Yin Gang Twins, come on now.
Wait till you see Trey Lance.
Doug, it's S. Dot. S. Dot Langford.
Did you see? Jalen, how you doing, Niner fans? Let me whisper in your ear. Tell you something that you might like to hear. Trey Lance got a video, 5,000 views. Jimmy G's out there swearing on the news. I don't know.
All right.
That was more topical for the time being, by the way. That was after Jimmy G went to the podium and swore, and that Trey Lance video first came out. It got 5,000 views within like 5 minutes.
Hey, guess what? When Trey Lance made that throw yesterday in practice where he rolled out to his left, threw it across his body 50 yards down the field, I guarantee you Jimmy G was like, bleep, 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 bleep. He better be swearing because that throw probably got his job taken away. He just doesn't know it yet.
Hey.
Fans don't know it yet.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I saw a tweet last night. I guess it was an IG comment. Big Play Dre, a.k.a. Dre Greenlaw.
Oh, boy.
This is what he put out on Instagram last night. This is a player, okay, from the 49ers.
The starting linebacker.
Best arm I've ever seen, hands down. Captioning the Trey Lance still photo of him throwing a football.
Wow. Wow. I don't know what that sound effect was, but was that like a mic drop or something?
It was Dre Greenlaw dropping the IG bomb.
That's what the players notice it. The media members are starting to notice it.
Well, I'm glad
we
you
got
said that.
articles coming out now saying Trey gives the Niners the best chance. Dieter Kurtenbach from the Mercury News. Trey Lance now gives the Niners the best chance. But, Saturday, Shasky and I, we walked out of practice.
Mm-hmm.
We did our thing right off the practice field. Did our video. And a lot of people were saying, hey, these are just two fanboys screaming and yelling. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know how to track training camp. They don't know what they're doing. Here we are 4 days later, and you got everybody. Not only the Niner beat writers, but you got people from ESPN, including Dan Orlovsky
what he
of
said.
ESPN. Here's what he had to say about Trey Lance.
Former NFL quarterback, the guy who ran out of bounds, but actually is great at breaking down film.
He is really good at breaking down film. Here's what he had to say about the prospects of Trey Lance starting at quarterback for the 49ers and what it may mean for the 49ers offense.
If you're looking at this offense and going, well, why Trey Lance? It's because that athleticism is going to minimize the turnovers. And it's something that has held Jimmy Garoppolo and this offense back. They've been really good offensively under Jimmy G, right? It's a really good offense. I think with Trey Lance, it has the chance to be unstoppable. If you're talking about run game, pass game, and not turning the football over. And I think because of the athleticism and and the ability, okay, number one's not there, number two's not there. My athleticism, I don't have to force a football. Like non-mobile quarterbacks, we have to, because we can't do anything other than throw the football. When you're athletic like Trey, he has another option, and that minimizes the risk that the ball is going to be put in when it comes to harm's way.
The 49ers offense could be unstoppable with Trey Lance at quarterback. That's from a former quarterback, Dan Orlovsky of ESPN. He just said the 49ers offense could be unstoppable, Shasky.
So let's look at this pragmatically, okay? Forget the hype and all that stuff. Trey Lance clearly has a better arm throwing the football than Jimmy Garoppolo. You and I have seen it. Everyone's seen it. It's unanimous. Like call the fight, as people like to say, okay? If you're Brandon Ayuk and or you're Kyle Shanahan and you're trying to get the most out of Brandon Ayuk, you're trying to get the most out of Deebo Samuel, those guys need to be able to stretch the field vertically downfield. And I think one of the areas, if we're being honest, with Deebo Samuel and the frustration on Deebo's behalf, on the team's behalf, on the fan base's behalf, is that he has been kind of turned into a gadget player because of some of the limitations of Jimmy Garoppolo, as well as some of the limitations of this offensive line to protect, to allow him to get downfield. I don't want to put it all on Jimmy, right? There's degrees of nuance here, right?
No doubt.
But I think Deebo can do more as a route runner downfield. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay. Brandon Ayuk, his separation is undeniable.
He can run every route on the football field.
And he can get to the second and third level if you give him time with that offensive line. But also, Jimmy's got to be willing to rip it.
Right.
And some of the throws required from his routes that he can run, I just don't think Jimmy has that kind of an arm.
No.
So if I'm looking at trying to really maximize this year's offense, George Kittle on the underneath stuff, the slants, Jimmy's money on that. We've seen it. We've seen it time and time again.
Defenses now knowing where Jimmy likes to throw the football, because we saw it last year. Middle of the field. They started packing the middle of the field, saying, throw the ball outside the numbers.
Absolutely.
Throw the ball outside the numbers. And that's where Jimmy has struggled. There's no doubt. So, yes, he's great on the sleds, but we saw at practice on last Saturday, we know Jimmy loves the sled. So what did Fred Warner do? I'm going to step up, take the ball out of the air, and go for a touchdown. Pick six, here we come.
Well, and I think it's tough for people to understand until you go see the guy play. And I get it. I understand being skeptical. Heck, if I was listening to me right now, I'd be skeptical. I'd be saying, oh, shorts. Come on, what are you kidding me? You can't hit the quarterback. It's not a real rush. There are certain things that both guys are doing at the same time, meaning the variables are the same, okay? So it's not like Trey is practicing against nobody and Jimmy's practicing against everybody. Like, there's a mix and match here. And this whole first string thing that you're hearing from a lot of the beat writers, wide receivers are running in and out of the drills, running in and out of the team organized practice, the 11 on 11. It'll be Ayuk and Trent Scherfer. It'll be Deebo and Ayuk. It'll be Sanu and insert player X on the outside. And they're coming in and out for Jimmy, for Trey, for Sudfeld, for Rosen. All right? Yeah, some of the offensive line is going to be out there for Jimmy Garoppolo, and then they rotate out, and then the other offensive line rotates in for Trey Lance. I'll grant you that. But it's not like the Niners defense is at 100% and it's all 11 starters for every single play, every single time out there for Jimmy Garoppolo either. So there's variables that are changing for both players. Both guys can't be hit. Both guys have the ability to be sacked, but not be sacked because it's practice. I'm doing air quotes here. Because you can't touch the quarterback, quarterback can step up and hold on to the ball for a longer play. That probably wouldn't happen in real life. And so what I'm getting at with all this is that I just think the 49ers offense can be completely unlocked with Trey Lance because of the ability to run and open plays up, because of the ability to throw the ball outside the hash marks toward the boundaries, because of the ability to throw the ball up and over the top of the safeties. Now defenses have to cover more of the field. And to me, that's the biggest thing. The discernment on who to throw to, Trey checks those boxes. And I understand being reluctant. We're going to see it. Jimmy's discernment is questionable. It's questionable. And also, his physical skill set is limited. So if I'm looking at this from how can I maximize Ayuk, Deebo, Kittle, the run game, the offensive line, I'm telling you, man, this thing is going in one direction.
You are listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco and Odyssey Station. Download the Odyssey app and listen to our interview with Casey Johnson yesterday, breaking down Otto Porter Jr. Casey Johnson covers the Chicago Bulls for NBC Sports in Chicago. Casey Johnson, it was a fun interview there. Download the Odyssey app and listen to the interview. And it's all brought to you by Timeless Coffee, our good friends at Timeless. They've opened up a new location in downtown Oakland. We'll get to that a little bit later, man. Go down to Timeless Coffee. Shout out to Timeless Coffee.
I'm drinking it
RJ
right now,
and
thank God.
Paula. Also some news here. John Heyman reporting, our MLB insider, saying the Dodgers are closing in on a deal for left-handed pitcher Cole Hamels. Closing in on the deal for Cole
What's
Hamels.
48?
He's up there. Let's see how much he has left. And to taking a Woj bomb here, Adrian Wojnarowski, as we talk a little NBA free agency. Four-time All-Star guard Kemba Walker has agreed to a contract buyout with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and upon clearing waivers, he plans to sign with the New York Knicks. That's what sources tell ESPN. He's going back home to New York City as we get back into Trey Lance here. And a lot of people say, man, one padded practice. Look, here's how I look at the kid. When he threw one interception as a redshirt freshman, right? Threw one interception all season long. So he doesn't turn the ball over. And when you talk about making this offense unstoppable, what Dan Orlovsky's talking about here from ESPN, that Trey Lance can make this offense unstoppable. I look at the 2019 team. They averaged 30 points a game. 29.9 to be exact. But if we round it up, 30 points per game. And they were a really run-heavy team. And they had a few games where Jimmy had to throw the ball, but that wasn't their style. They wanted to ground and pound you, play great defense, get good field position, and Jimmy did what he had to do. Now, he had some excellent games, and he has some games where it's like, okay, he needs to be better here. Trey Lance will take this offense from, say, a 12-play, 13-play offense to where they're grinding out plays, right? They're grinding out yardages, and they're eating up the clock. Trey Lance has the potential to put so much pressure on the other team by just going 3 plays, 80 yards, 4 plays, 85, 5 plays, 70. Like, you need those big chunk plays in today's NFL because how many times do we see a mistake? You're on a long drive. Next thing you know, you get a holding call. Next thing you know, there's a turnover. There's a batted ball. You start playing behind the sticks. Trey Lance gives this offense an ability to strike quickly. And I think that's what Shanahan's looking for. He's thinking about the Atlanta Falcons back in, 2016, when they advanced to the Super Bowl? That offense averaged over 35 points a game with Matt Ryan. With Matt Ryan, he had 2 running backs in Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman. Obviously, he had Julio Jones. He had Mohamed Sanu there. Look, they were a solid offense, and they lit it up. Now, the Niners, one thing about them is they have a better offensive line right now than that Atlanta Falcons team. They have a better offensive line than a lot of rookies when they get drafted into the league. You know, I saw a Joe Burrow comparison where he got sacked numerous times last season.
Yeah, Burrow
the Niners
and Herbert got sacked the most per snap based on any other player in the league.
Burrow was playing basically for an expansion team last year with the Cincinnati Bengals. They were starting from scratch.
He was impressive.
This offense that Trey Lance is walking into, this team that he's walking into is loaded. This is a Super Bowl roster, all right? A Super Bowl roster. So all he needs to do is throw it 25 times a game. Don't turn the ball over. You have a strong running game, but his pass run options where this guy can really light it up and throw the ball outside the numbers and deep down the football field. That's why Orlovsky's saying this offense could be unstoppable, and I 100% agree with him.
So Peter King was on with DRK on Monday, and he basically said that training camps and the build-up to the regular season is for the studs, the young studs, to identify themselves and to validate themselves to their teammates. It's not about, all the decision-making and this and the other. It's just, hey, I'm a stud. I'm here. Now, B, I told you, when we went to practice, I was watching all of the plays, but I was also looking at the reaction from the teammates, the defense, the offensive players around Trey Lance, the wide receivers around Jimmy Garoppolo, the offensive line. And I'm going to say this over and over and over again. When Alex Smith had no faith in the eyes of Michael Crabtree, I knew it was a wrap for him when Colin Kaepernick showed any glimpse of success with Crabtree, because these guys want to get paid. Ayuk wants to get paid and wants to have his best year.
Other players will tell you, too. Other players will tell you, too, what they think of your quarterback. The other teams,
no doubt.
the other teams will
New
tell
York
you.
Giants.
Right. The other teams will tell you what your weaknesses are. But when the Giants came back to Candlestick Park after winning the NFC Championship.
Antrel Roll?
Antrel Roll in the regular season game. The regular season I happened to be at. And they got pummeled to the ground. And Antrel Roll said, this offense is easy to defend because all we have to do is play within the 15-yard box.
Sit down.
Because we know Alex Smith will not try to stretch the field. And after the NFC Championship,
you're right.
Michael Crabtree said, sometimes you got to give your players a chance to make a play.
Yeah.
And Kaepernick did that, and Trey Lance is doing that right now in practice.
Well, and that's where I go back to, and I'm going to keep saying this, man. I just don't see a situation after you watch practice. I can't wait for the Kansas City game because everyone's going to have an opportunity to see this for themselves. I just don't see how Shanahan can look Trent Williams in the eye, Alex Mack in the eye and be like, hey, guys, I know you're really old. At this point, you want to win a ring. Jimmy gives us our best chance. Hey, I know Deebo Samuel, you want to get a big-time extension, and you really haven't been able to showcase what you can do as a primary wide receiver because I've been using you as a gadget guy because we have some limitations in the pass game. Hey, Ayuk, I know you were spotty last year, but you had 60 catches. You had a really fine rookie season. Boy, you guys can really pop, but we're going to play Jimmy. We're going to go with the veteran. Like, at this point, I just think this isn't 1975.
What did you make of the Dre Greenlaw comment, though?
But that, to me, was everything.
Right.
Dre Greenlaw is not just going to come out and say that. That is a guy who's gone up against Russell Wilson how many times? Gone up against Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl.
Kyler Murray within his division.
Absolutely. And, like, the players.
SEC, too.
How about Fred Warner's reactions at practice when he was walking off the field talking about Trey Lance?
Dude, well, it was everything. But the reaction that stuck with me from Saturday's practice, and I'm sure we're seeing a lot more down there at practice. Deebo Samuel, when Jimmy Garoppolo underthrew Brandon Ayuk deep down the field and it was an interception. Shasky, I didn't see him drop back and throw the ball. I thought it was a punt. And I looked to my left, and you're going crazy. Like, how can you make that throw?
It was horrible.
What are you waiting for?
It was pat, crop step.
And there was two things that happened after that play. Garoppolo goes back to the huddle, and Shanahan is educating him like a rookie with his hands out.
He threw his hands out,
like, yo, like, what are you doing? And Deebo is off to the side having a demonstrative conversation with somebody, pointing like this guy, and like he was ticked off. Ayuk, his body language was just like, damn, dude, it's just not fun catching passes from this guy. Whereas Trey Lance, he's throwing it to me. He's catching me in stride. I'm going to the house. So players' reactions, and that's why I bring the binoculars, folks, to the press box, because I'm looking at the sideline demeanor. The players tell you that Trey Lance gives the 49ers the best chance to win. And I guarantee you the players will back up Kyle Shanahan 100% if and when he announces Trey Lance to be his starter week 1 against the Detroit Lions. There's no doubt.
So there's the personal element where, you want these guys to believe in you if you're Kyle Shanahan. There's also a business element. Kyle wants the guy who's going to give him the best chance. Not like, hey, I play the veteran because that's what you got to do in these things. Kyle's feeling it too. Kyle has one winning season in the last 4. This is his 5th season. This will be, the beginning of this year will be the longest any 49er coach has coached since Mariucci.
Yeah.
You think he doesn't want to have multiple winning seasons on his resume?
It's go time for Kyle Shanahan.
Now, people can sit here and say, well, the best of Jimmy gets you double-digit wins. He's not settling. This is Super Bowl or bust for this roster. And I'm telling you, the pressure that this guy puts on a defense with his arm, and then we haven't even talked about the legs and the mesh play.
It's 6-5-0. It's not about narrative, man. It's about what we're seeing. We're trying to break it down, what we're seeing.
Yeah.
We are here on the airwaves to break down what we saw at practice. All right?
We're talking about practice.
I know a lot of radio hosts in this market don't go down to practice. We go down to practice. We've been going down to practice for a long time. I know what I saw down there in Santa Clara. I saw a quarterback who was better than the starter from the previous 3 to 4 seasons.
Look,
and we'll continue to discuss this on the other side. We got to break Shasky. Kate Scott calling the Olympic Games, basketball rounds. They're now in a medal round in terms of Olympic basketball. They're USA playing. Who they play? I don't even know who the hell they play. I've been paying attention to the Olympics, man. I'm watching Giants baseball. Trey Lance and company. Who they play next? Anybody know? Australia. I think they play Australia
the team
next.
that beat them.
Yeah, exactly. So that should be a lot of fun there Thursday. We're going up to Sacramento for the California Classic, but we're going to continue to dissect Trey Lance here on 95.7 The Game.
Breaking news on 95.7 The Game is powered by Odyssey.
Langford played that Dipset beat, and you know what?
What happened last night on Versus?
They got bodied. That's what happened. Dipset got bodied.
I'm not a Joel Santana guy, though. I think he's like vastly overrated.
He is, and he looked washed. He didn't even know the words to his own songs.
Oh, really?
And Jadakiss was calling him out. I was like, you guys got the words playing right now. We just got the beat playing. You don't even know the lyrics to your own song.
Because I'm a huge Cameron guy. Like, I love Cameron.
Yeah, he got bodied, too. They all got bodied.
Yeah, but Cameron's not necessarily someone that I would say is like
a lyricist.
Well, no, he is a lyricist, but more like I like he's just funny. Like I just dig Cameron's aura.
Well, they had the Freaky Zeke guy just dancing all the time, and Jadakiss goes, "Hey, Freaky Zeke, drop a verse," and he basically turned his mic off because he has no heat. He has no verse. I'm telling you, watching that Versus last night made me not want to play a Dipset song ever again. Ever again.
Not even Hey Ma?
Not even Hey Ma.
Come on,
dude. Jadakiss and the Locks just poo-pooed all over them last night.
Hey,
and it was at the Madison Square Garden Theater, so it was packed in there.
I seen Young Lot was out there.
Young
Shout
Lot,
out San Francisco.
Fat
legend.
Joe was out there.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people out there.
Was he leaning back?
He was leaning back a little bit with his ice.
Was Remy Ma there?
I did not see Remy Ma. Did not see Remy Ma there. But the Locks, they looked good last night. They went Jordan Game 6.
Yeah. So if we were doing Versus at 49er practice, Jimmy versus Trey Lance,
Jimmy would be Dipset right now.
Well, here's the thing.
He would be Dipset.
I'm hearing from a lot of people like, you got to let Trey Lance marinate. You gotta let it play itself out. Jimmy's the guy until he's not the guy. There are certain times in life when you see something, and my mom can point it out. My mom, like, wow, that person is extremely talented. They've got a great voice. That person throws 110 miles an hour. Like Aroldis Chapman, when you first saw him,
right,
Bonte. I mean, you were like, wow. I mean, it's a pretty explosive.
Yeah,
I mean,
no doubt.
Shohei Ohtani, right?
Yep, right away.
Once you see it, you're like, that don't look like anything I've
Ronald
seen.
Acuna Jr.
Exactly.
It's like, whoa,
and
whoa.
you could suppress and say, keep that buried. The NFL does not suppress talent for the sake of suppressing talent. This is not Major League Baseball where Vladimir Guerrero will sit down in the minors because we want to control another year of his arbitration. All right? The NFL plays the best player regardless.
Yep.
There was a template for the Chargers last year. And then they saw Herbert play in a real game, and they were like, oh, my God. And then you know what? It was the best thing that ever happened to them.
Best thing that ever happened to them. What happened to Tyrod Taylor? It happened right before the game. And Justin Herbert, and look, I watched a lot of Justin Herbert in college. A lot of him. I did not think he was that. I watched a lot of Oregon football.
Yeah, I didn't.
I watched a lot, and I was just like, okay, he's solid. He's okay. He's got a good arm. All right, whatever. Top 10 pick. Didn't think that was the case.
I saw him at Cal, play against Cal his junior year, and he only had to make one legit, what I would call NFL throw in the red zone. And it was a beautiful throw. It was just very unimpressive. And I think it was also a nature of the vanilla offense that they ran. So much read option where he was handing it off every single time. It was just, and I wasn't impressed with him. And when I saw Andrew Luck up close and personal, his freshman year, wow. Like, I knew right away, that is an NFL quarterback,
no doubt.
Man among boys.
Right.
He's going to be a top 5 pick.
Right.
When you saw Trevor Lawrence in that national championship game, freshman year, it was like, okay.
He's going to be a top pick 3 years later.
Right? and Herbert has physical gifts, but I don't think that they were highlighted at Oregon. And I was way wrong on him. There's no question. But I watched this guy in the NFL, and his ability to rip the ball down the field is unreal.
And you know what, Trey? A lot of people saying, well, he came from North Dakota State. Does not matter at all. He has a legit NFL arm. Benjamin Albright for Sports Illustrated tweeted out yesterday. Sources at 49ers training camp tell me he's Patrick Mahomes 2.0. Marinate on that one.
Well, so let me tell you something about marinade, okay? Because I'm a meat guy,
But
I'm a butcher boy.
People are talking on YouTube about marinating Wagyu beef or whatnot.
No. So I'm gonna get to this. So like the inside joke when it comes to people that are in the know in meat, and you can go ask my man Danny down there at Gueras. You can go ask my buddy Matt Murphy. Bad meat needs to be marinated so that you can hide some of the taste of the meat. You know what great meat needs? A little salt and pepper and some garlic, baby. That's it. Because you want to taste the unbelievable marbleization and the absolute best of the best meat. You want to be able to taste it. When you're marinating and you're dumping a bunch of, I don't know, let's just say for this particular exercise, teriyaki all over your steak, you probably got a cheap piece of meat. You marinate cheap meat. You season lightly great meat, okay? And that's what the 49ers are doing right now with this prime USDA cut of Trey Lance.
Right.
This dude ain't he ain't no hanger steak, okay? He ain't no, tough London broil steak that you can get for $4.99 out at Safeway. And I love Safeway, and I do love me a London broil. But I'm sorry, it's not like having a USDA Prime New York cut.
No doubt. 707. Trey Lance came from a small school, Homers. So you're telling me there wasn't one big school that didn't see this once-in-a-lifetime talent? The big schools sometimes miss. They miss sometimes. Guys slip through the cracks. They do. Even some of the guys at the big schools, they slip. Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick.
Yep.
Wasn't he? Mm-hmm. Drew Brees dropped to the 2nd round, didn't he? I mean, you got a lot of guys here. Joe Montana, for crying out loud, the best quarterback in 49ers history. It was a 3rd-round pick out of Notre Dame.
He barely started his senior year at Notre Dame. He was fighting for the job back and forth.
Back and forth. War Moon didn't get a shot in the NFL right away. Had to go to the CFL.
Unreal.
Randall Cunningham had to go to UNLV.
Russell Wilson
had to transfer schools.
I mean,
with the NC State to Wisconsin.
Kyler Murray sat behind Baker Mayfield, transferred schools. Just look in their own division.
That has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with anything.
Quarterbacks can be found anywhere.
Dude, they can be found anywhere. Sometimes they're missed. Quarterback RG3 with the Baylor, and I know RG3 didn't end well for him, and he's still out there trying to vie for a job, but you can't tell me that rookie season he wasn't electric. Came from Baylor. Came from Baylor. He put Baylor on the map.
I know.
Andy Dalton came from TCU. You know what I'm saying? That's not a big school. It's not a quote-unquote big school. They're in the Power 5 conference. Mm-hmm. That's not a big-time school. Nobody's thinking about TCU football, for crying out loud.
Yeah, the quarterbacks can come from anywhere. Big Ben Roethlisberger, no one saw that coming from Miami, Ohio, and he's had an unbelievable career.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible human being off the field, but unbelievable football career. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And look, sometimes people miss in sports. It happens all the time. One of the greatest misses of all time. No one ever talks about Hakeem goes number 1, Sam Bowie goes number 2, Michael Jordan goes 3.
Yep.
Now, as great as Hakeem was for the Rockets, you don't think they want that redo?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one, too, because Hakeem was special.
They did win.
They did win.
Come on.
But it's Michael Jordan. I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Michael Jordan didn't get it. 6'5". Trey wanted to go to Minnesota, declined because they wanted to make him a safety. And he did run a wing T in school. That's good knowledge, 707. He ran the wing T, and anybody knows the wing T offense, you'll throw it like 5 times a game. Reader ran a wing T offense in the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
That's all they did with E. Wright and who was it? Jeremy Coderas.
Orlando Hodges.
Yeah, Orlando Hodges. That's my boy Hodges. He played Seahawks with me.
Yeah.
Hodges had an arm, but they ran the wing T. They ran the wing T.
If you're handing off to Randy Sims getting, 1,500 yards, you'd do that too.
510. This is the first 17-week season. Don't rush Trey too fast. Let Garoppolo take some of those hits. We have till we fix to make a trade. Even if Trey's better, he's not been hit by real NFL stars yet. I don't think NFL stars want to tackle Trey Lance. When you got a guy who's 6'5", 240, barreling down the football field, there's going to be safeties and corners and some linebackers who make business decisions saying, you know what, Trey's just a little bit too big.
I'm telling you, if you just took the names off the back of the jerseys and you watch the drills, at very minimum, they are equals. At very minimum. At most, Trey is head and shoulders above him on everything that they're doing on these drills, okay? This is not Jimmy's significantly better in a lot of areas and we're trying to hype up Trey Lance. Trey Lance throws a better football than him, processes quicker the information post-snap than Jimmy Garoppolo, has the ability to actually work the pocket with the subtleties and the step-ups and the slide-overs. Again, I can't wait for the Bay Area to have an opportunity to see him, and I know that we think we're hyping it up. We're not even doing Mariucci's hyping him up. Adam Schefter's hyping him up.
Guess who else?
Benjamin Albright's hyping him up.
Guess
Dre
who else?
Greenlaw's hyping him up.
Matt Mayoko's now hyping him up.
Why?
Because he knows what he's saying now.
What did Laura Britt say about Matt Mayoko? She's been working with him for quite some time.
He is gushing over Trey Lance. He can't stop talking about Trey Lance. He can't. That's Matt Mayoko. Ty Hall on YouTube. Bonte, you think Trey has a chance to surpass Joe as the greatest under quarterback ever? I'm not going there. Joe won 4 Super Bowls. Well, I'm not going there.
In terms of team accomplishments, no one's better than Joe.
Right.
In a 49er.
But talent-wise?
The kid's got all the talent in the world, and he's oozing it. And his situation is a phenomenal situation to find himself in. Look, you got a great run game. You've got a really good offensive line by my eyes. You've got great weaponry on the outside. You've got an elite defense by all the metrics. I think it's the best front seven that they've got in the NFC. You could take Tampa Bay. Okay, I'll listen to that. I'm I'm going to take the Niners, and I'm probably a little biased there, but I'm going to go with the Niners, especially now that D Ford looks like he's coming back and looking good.
Hey, you know what they said yesterday at practice? D Ford wore the pads. He wore the pads. He played in team drills, and he looked good. D Ford looked good. D Ford looks good. That's what they're saying down in Santa Clara. D Ford looks good, Langford. He looks good.
And can I just say this about the whole Patrick Mahomes sitting for the bench on the year under Alex Smith and using that comparison to Trey Lance? Well, they were 12-4 the year before in 2016. The Chiefs were.
Yeah, that's a good
then
point.
In 2017, they're coming in. They got a whole new wide receiver core. It's completely different. And with Mahomes, even guys on the Chiefs were saying, like when they look back on that rookie year, they said, "Oh, this is the dude you're having to take over as our franchise quarterback." Guys like Kelsey, guys like Hill said that about Mahomes in his rookie year. You're not hearing that about Lance right now.
That's a good point.
All the talking points surrounding Lance are completely different than they were to Mahomes in 2017.
And then you also have to look at durability. And I also think you have to look at just the individual player. So if we're going to isolate the Chiefs situation, Alex Smith, say all the things you want to say about him, after 2011, he's pretty damn durable. Yeah, he had the concussion in 2012, but when he played with the Chiefs, he was very, very, very durable. And I actually think in terms of decision-making, he was probably a better decision-maker than Jimmy Garoppolo. I think Jimmy's a better rhythmic thrower, but he's not a better decision-maker.
It's a great point by Langford that the Niners were struggling last season, and you saw him get hurt again. And even before he got hurt, it just wasn't like the Arizona game. George Kittle almost got his leg taken off, all right? That's a throw you got to make.
First play.
I mean, he just
of what was the second quarter?
It was in the red zone.
I mean,
it was just
brutal.
like, and George Kittle had to miss the rest of the game. You lose to the Cardinals. Jimmy had his moments. He did have his moments, but kind of like the stock market, it's like AMC, right? Everybody's going crazy over AMC. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Same thing happens with players. How many times we see players have a great year, and then the next year, all of a sudden, they look trash. Like Ike Taylor, for example. Ike Taylor's popping in my head for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Was a really good corner. And after a while, he just started getting toasted.
Remember when the Niners signed Nnamdi Asomugha?
Oh, my gosh.
And I was
he
like,
was done.
Yeah, I know, but I thought he was still the great player that he was with the Raiders. And then he obviously went to the Eagles in between that. He was a shell of who he was.
A shell. We see this happen all the time. Here's Media Kimes, though, from ESPN, because Benjamin Albright says that he's hearing that Trey Lance is Patrick Mahomes 2.0. Matt Mayoko's gushing over him. Dieter Kurtenbach just wrote an article. Trey gives the Niners the best chance to win.
I'm with him.
I mean,
I'm with him.
Greg Cohn said it's undeniable that Trey Lance is the best quarterback. We walked out of Saturday's practice saying that this guy's going to start week 1.
Watching one period of team drills, it was very obvious.
We watched 4 plays. 4 plays.
It was very obvious.
4 plays, and we said, this guy's the best quarterback on a football field.
It's undeniable. And the analogy that I would use regarding just like observing talent, when you go to a high school basketball game and you see an NBA player, I saw Aaron Gordon, who was at Midi, and I seen him in the layup line, and I was like, oh my God, look at him. Look at everyone else on the field, or on the court in this particular instance. Look at how he can jump up. I mean, this is unbelievable. Then you watch him play a little, and it's like, I mean, come on. And the guy was sick as a dog, Aaron Gordon, in this game that I watched at SI. He still controlled the entire game.
You were at that game?
Yeah, he barely played. He dropped like 20 points.
Well, I covered that game.
Sick as a dog.
I covered that game. He missed like 12 free throws in that game.
Yeah.
He was like 1 for 13 in that game from free throw line.
And Bonte, couldn't you tell? He's going to the NBA.
Oh, well, did you see Arizona coaches there that night? Sean Miller and company was at that game. And he was sick, and he missed 12 free throws, and he still shut down. Look, Stephen Domingo, good kid, with the SI, Trevor Dunbar. Gordon shut them down. Gordon shut them down.
Handles, though.
Dunbar was sick with the mixtape.
And here's from 650. I think this guy makes a great point here. Are we sure Mahomes shouldn't have played his rookie year now looking back on it? Well, are we 100% sure on this?
Well, Langford, you got the sound here because Adrian Peterson talked about Mahomes. Remember Mahomes played the last game of the season?
Yes, I do remember
against
that.
the Denver Broncos and lit him up. Here's what Adrian Peterson had to say about that day.
When I seen him throw that ball, I was like, oh my God. Just watching that game, I was like, Alex, you're in trouble, man. You know, Alex, my boy. But that kid right there, he has to be on the field. He has to play. Like, he has to play.
Dude, when I saw Trey throw that ball, I said, oh my God. Seriously.
But okay, so let's put yourself in Trent Williams' position. You've won once in your career. Once. And that was when RG3 was there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Once. You think this guy is going to wait around with another Kirk Cousins type like he did in Washington?
Nope.
And do that again with Jimmy Garoppolo when he can see the sand coming out of the hourglass? How about Alex Mack? You only got this center for maybe 2 years.
I was just going to go there because...
Maybe 2 years.
Look, I was going to go there because Alex Mack is important here as a center. All right, Trey is a rookie, and I get it. It's a risk to play a rookie and try to win a Super Bowl. It's never been done before. However, if you're going to put a rookie into a situation to play right away, this is probably the best situation a rookie has ever had since Mark Sanchez with the New York Jets, when he had that very strong defense and a very strong running game. But they didn't have the weapons like this, but he had a great offensive line, and a great defense. Well, this 49ers defense looks great. It looks deep on the defensive line, the linebacker position, and the DBs look solid. All right? The offensive line has been retooled. Now, Mike McGlinchey still worries me a little bit, but Banks at right guard, because I do believe he's going to take the job at right guard over Brunskill.
Apparently, he had a really rough day the last couple of days. So I'm just telling you what I've been hearing from some of the people. You know my boy Brad, who runs the VSF Niners.
I heard the opposite about yesterday.
He had a couple of rough moments. He really is keen on the offensive line, and I kind of trust his eye because this is something that's his wheelhouse, former offensive lineman. And he's basically telling me that, he just had a really rough day yesterday.
Really?
He thinks that it's Brunskill's job as of right now. Now, others can disagree. This is the beauty of sports. Two people can watch something and maybe come away with different perspectives, but that's just what he's telling me right now on Banks.
All right.
But again,
see, I heard differently, but he's a prospect that we saw working after practice on Saturday. He looks the part. He's big. He's physical. He looks mean. But Alex Mack can help out Trey Lance.
Absolutely.
With his line audibles right before the snap. Hey, this guy's going to be blitzing here. This guy's going to be blitzing there. You may want to slide this way, slide that way. And you're right that Trent Williams, Alex Mack, George Kittle, you've been to the playoffs once.
Man.
All right? And you've had a quarterback who a lot of people claim doesn't even look at you in the biggest moments. There's a lot of plays here in the Super Bowl that left a lot of us like, damn, if you would have just hit this play. Now, the Super Bowl's not all on Jimmy. I thought the offensive line sucked in the second half, especially the fourth quarter. I thought the defense let down there. They were gassed. They got torched in the fourth quarter. And I thought Shanahan didn't do a good job of calling plays in the Super Bowl. But I get it. Trey Lance covers all those flaws up. Kansas City, you think they're blitzing the house against Trey Lance?
No. Arizona did it multiple times on that all-out blitz, and Jimmy actually did beat him on the Jeff Wilson little angle route.
Right.
But you think they're going to stop doing that just because Jimmy had a couple of short completions for touchdowns?
Nope.
Real quick before you get to that, just real quick. It is so few and far between to have the nucleus that the Niners have. Think about the 2011 to 2013 49ers. Okay, year one was their best team. Now, year two, they did get to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Defense is not a carryover thing.
No.
Guys get hurt. It's a physical spot to play in.
Justin
Injuries.
Smith,
Things happen on defense. Hey, my secondary doesn't have the year that they had the year before. My defensive line wants to get paid or whatever it is. Linebackers, they're like running backs. You think that they're going to be around like Bobby Wagner, but more of them mimic what Patrick Willis and Luke Kuechly are if they're great. They have shorter careers in what we give them credit for. Things are not guaranteed. You cannot just, let this guy marinate and sit there. To me, that's loser mentality, and you're wasting a year of this unbelievable roster that you have. And the whole point of drafting a quarterback, if we're looking at it from a salary cap standpoint, is to actually maximize the guy playing the most important position, making the least amount of money.
Mina Kimes on Jimmy Garoppolo. Here's what she had to say. Mina Kimes from ESPN via NFL Live.
To me, the more telling quote this week came from D'Amico Ryans, who's the new defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, talking about playing Trey. He mentioned that it was incredibly advantageous to the defense to be able to play a quarterback who was capable of running the option, zone read, really putting the sort of stress on this San Francisco defense that other quarterbacks in the division have been putting on them now for years. Even when this defense was healthy, by the way, they still struggled against mobile quarterbacks, not just inside the division, but also outside of it. Kyle Shanahan has had to sit back and watch his defense get beaten on the ground, and I firmly believe that's a big part of the reason why he went out and along with Lynch, traded away the future for Trey Lance. he is fully aware that when Jimmy Garoppolo is playing well, as he said, this is a team that can win. Jimmy Garoppolo has a ceiling that Trey Lance does not. And so while I think it's entirely possible Jimmy starts week 1, I don't think he starts for long because Trey Lance is the future of this team. And if they do want to go to the Super Bowl, they need to hit that soon.
So now that's Drake Greenlaw sending out a tweet yesterday or Instagram saying, strongest arm I've ever seen, hands down. You got DeMeco Ryan saying, oh my gosh, this guy's preparing us so well for what we're going to see within the division with Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson. And Fred Warner Company, you're like, well, man, this guy's good. On top of that, Shanahan flipping and getting a quarterback like this because that was the old thing before the draft. He wants a pocket quarterback, which is why Mac Jones was linked to the 49ers for so freaking long.
God, they didn't get Mac Jones.
Thank the heavens, because Trey Lance is wow
you
factor,
were like,
right?
From a content standpoint, I wouldn't be mad at it.
I wouldn't be mad at it. It's content.
Can
Mac
you be
Jones,
honest, though? From a content standpoint,
I never wanted Mac Jones.
Trey Lance is the gift that's going to keep giving 15 years.
Look, I never wanted Mac Jones.
I know you did.
But we would have been talking about the 49ers quarterback situation just as much with Mac Jones as we are with Trey Lance. You know why? Because if Mac Jones would have went to trading camp and stuck it up, we would have said, oh my gosh, the 49ers blew the number 3 pick after trading 3 first-round picks away, and Shanahan's on the hot seat. But Shanahan, his mindset flipped. I'm telling you, it was the Buffalo game on Monday Night Football.
Josh Allen carved him.
Josh Allen changed his whole perspective on the quarterback position, and thank the heavens Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills carved him up because now you got Trey Lance.
So I got some thoughts on mobile quarterbacks, but I want to give a shout out to one of the people who tunes into our show and shares our show, and we have a big audience here, and I appreciate all you guys listening. But DJ Ducci, I got to give a shout out to him. He's been battling some of the COVID Delta variant, and he's been really sick. And I love him. We love him. He loves the show. I hope you get better, buddy. Everybody is supporting you. He's out here on Twitch getting real fired up. But I just wanted to give a shout out to somebody who was just having a rough stretch right now, and hopefully we could provide some entertainment to him and to a lot of people that are going through some tough times right now. Back to the mobile quarterback
DJ
thing.
Ducci's fired up. Big Dog City says, I'm starting Trey week 1 against the Lions.
Well, we'll get to that.
Big Dog City said he's coming to training camp Saturday.
All right, let's talk about mobile quarterbacks. If we operate under the knowledge that Tom Brady is the outlier, meaning in this generation, the one guy who isn't mobile, who's still able to get it done at a high level, he's the unicorn, right? He kind of breaks the algorithm. It's almost impossible and unfair to compare anyone to Tom Brady. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's throw him to the side. Look who's having success. We referenced Herbert earlier. Big, strong, mobile. Mahomes. Okay, he may not be as big as Herbert. He's thick, and he can move. He's mobile, and he's got an unbelievable arm. Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, all right? Let's Josh Allen, who you referenced, big, strong, mobile. All the players having unbelievable success.
Deshaun Watson.
Exactly. Even Aaron Rodgers, for as gifted as his arm is, I think we underrate his athleticism and his ability to move on and make throws on the run. All of these guys have the same qualities in terms of mobility. What has that done against the 49er defense? They have a brilliant defense. But there's times they pin a guy down and he somehow evades it and rushes out. And just by the nature of being so difficult to defend, mobile quarterbacks, even on 3rd and long, when you have everything schemed up right and you dial in that blitz from the edge, they find a way to make a guy miss, and then they run to either set up a throw downfield or run to get a first down. It's the great equalizer. I mean, when these defenses are so big and so strong and so fast, and you're just pumping out defensive linemen in the first round over and over and over again, and we don't have the sophisticated offensive line play coming into the NFL like we used to, the mobile quarterback is the cheat code. It's the cheat code. So let's just say if we're operating under, hey, they use the same decision making. Even though we know that Trey has a better arm, hey, they've got the same amount of arm. If you can move a little, that gives you a dramatic edge, not a little edge, a dramatic edge in being able to craft specific plays to utilize the leg and also just to make things happen when there's nothing there.
Well, here's the thing. The biggest misnomer to me about the mobile quarterback is that, you need one right now. I feel like you've needed one for the last 30 years. I mean, where's it? People were so reluctant to move away from the quote-unquote pocket quarterback. Oh, you can't win with a guy who moves around a little bit. Big Ben was mobile early on in his career for a long stretch.
He was closer to Cam Newton than he was to Tom Brady.
No doubt about it.
Especially early in his career.
And he made plays. Steelers won a lot of games off of those broken plays by Ben Roethlisberger. Steve Young, broken plays. Randall Cunningham, broken plays. Donovan McNabb, very early on. He became a pocket quarterback, but he could move and make plays with his legs. I felt like the NFL has been trending here for a long time. Bobby Bowden, longtime coach at Florida State.
It's your boy.
That's my guy.
Is he chewing grass?
Dude, he had a health scare not too long ago, I believe. But no, he should be chewing grass.
He's got to be up there in age. What is he, 90?
Yeah, he's up there.
How old is Bobby Bowden?
Bobby Bowden's up there. I love Bobby Bowden.
Curly, can you get in on that?
I mean, Bobby Bowden got so old, and he let everybody cheat. And I'll pull it up right here. Bobby Bowden is 91 years old.
91?
91 years
Damn, we're old, bro.
Man, we are very old, and he's getting up there, man, Bobby Bowden. But he said it. After the Sugar Bowl, where Florida State beat Virginia Tech and Michael Vick. And Michael Vick had one of the greatest games in a national championship loss. And Bobby Bowden said, that is the future of the quarterback position. What we just saw with Michael Vick is what we're going to see in football for many years to come. Now, people were slow to react to it. They're like, I don't know. We're here now.
Did you ever watch Michael Vick in person?
Have I ever seen a Vic game in person? I have not seen a Vic game in person. One of my biggest regrets.
He came to Candlestick one time.
When he was a Falcon, right?
Yes.
Rookie year.
It was the most incredible thing I have ever seen.
He didn't start that game.
Yeah, he played in that game.
He played, though.
Yeah, he played
Chris
in that
Chandler
game.
played.
Yes.
But he got in some red zone packages under Dan Reeves. I remember.
Bonte. He was so fast. He was little, though, too. That's the other thing. Like, size-wise at that time, he looked so small. Oh, he played. He played in that game.
He played in that game. I remember he played in that game. He didn't start for a while, though. He didn't start for a while, but he was good.
ridiculous.
No, he's been ridiculous.
He didn't even know how to read a defense.
No, I know. For a long time, he didn't know how to read a defense.
Well, and I think that's the big misnomer on Trey. If people are sitting here like, the guy hasn't known anything.
And mobile quarterbacks, they don't know how to read a defense.
Well, see, the baseline now is you have to be able to deliver the ball from the pocket before you can even be handed the keys at the college level. Baseline is, can you read a defense and can you throw from the pocket? It used to be just throw the ball to an athlete, let him out-athlete people. Those days are long gone.
Right.
Long gone. You think, what's the Oklahoma guy's name? Come on, what's that? Lincoln Riley. You think Lincoln Riley's just throwing anybody back there to play quarterback?
Not. Absolutely
I mean,
not.
And here's the other thing, the sophistication of the quarterback position, just in 10 years, think of how many passing camps and individual quarterback gurus have stepped up. The sophistication of the coaching of that position is at a whole nother level.
7-on-7s, flag football championships, spring football. And you look at what's going on in just Texas and how many quarterbacks they're producing because of all these camps. And the whole thing about mobile quarterbacks, which a lot of teams were reluctant to draft mobile quarterbacks because Lamar Jackson, let's just move on to wide receiver.
Yes.
He can't read a defense. Well, they could break down the defense. How can a defense react to these guys when they break the pocket, when they don't just step back and say, let's throw it 3 seconds, boom, let's go. So I'm glad we're here with these mobile quarterbacks because they've grown up in these spread offenses. And also you see the college system start to trickle into the NFL with some of the concepts here. So 888-957-9570. Are you sold on Trey Lance right now because he made a throw that even wowed our very own Cam Inman?
He rolled left. He hit Trent Sherfield about 50 yards on the fly, and it just looked like one of the best passes I've seen on this practice field ever. And that's too much to say because it's just a training camp practice, but when it's a rookie who hasn't been in many practices and showed some poise and how to use that play and trust his receiver and just drop a dime downfield like that, I mean, it was really good to see.
Think about that. Cam Inman has been covering the 49ers for a long time.
Since as long as Mariucci's been here.
Dude, he's been covering football for a long time. He said that's the best throw he's ever seen at practice. I heard the voice of the 49ers say, I've never seen a better throwing exhibition in a practice in my life. I mean, seriously, this is where we're at with it. And I know it's just practice. People, I know it's just practice. We're beating this over the head. Well, practice. Jimmy Garoppolo has his ceiling. You know, everything has to be perfect. I get that. And I'm a big Jimmy guy. I think you can win with Jimmy. Like, if the Niners went ahead and started Jimmy for every single game this season, I still believe they could be a Super Bowl team. But boy, games are going to be a lot closer with Jimmy Garoppolo, and the margin for error is a lot thinner. With Trey Lance, I think you got just as good of a chance to go deep into the playoffs. I really do. Because I also believe in this, Jasky. When a quarterback plays in big games in college, and he plays in the bright lights, and he did at North Dakota State. It's not Alabama. It's not Ohio State. It's not Clemson. I get all that. but he's played in big games. And that program in North Dakota State, all they do is play in big games. And you don't want to be the quarterback who quarterbacked the team that lost the championship at North Dakota State, because they're used to winning conference championship after championship, championship after championship. They are loaded up there. It's something about playing in big games where a guy's not stage fright, and Trey Lance right now doesn't look stage fright.
No, he doesn't. And again, you just got to go there and check it out. And so, like, Cam Inman is a great example. And him saying that to me, it's like, all right, here we go. Now we're starting to. It's getting to the undeniable.
Isn't it funny how that's turning now?
Well, and look, let's play both sides of this. I understand being reluctant to attach your name to something that sounds so absurd. Look, me coming away from camp saying, oh my God, I've never seen anything like that. People have probably got sticker shock when they see that. Like, this guy thinks he's Trump. He's just saying ridiculous things. And I understand being reluctant to attach yourself to a statement so bold. It seems ridiculous. I was telling my brother, and I go, Pat, I understand what I'm saying to you sounds completely insane. That's how undeniably good this guy was. He was so good, I couldn't help but say some of the most ridiculous things that when I hear them coming out of my mouth, it makes me sound like one of these whack jobs walking on Market Street.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not a hot take.
It's not. It's not a hot take. I'm literally regurgitating what I am watching.
Big Dog City told me over the weekend, I've never heard you this excited about a quarterback.
It's so fun.
I mean,
He's
like,
so fun.
I never heard. I mean, like, I saw the pastor Ross Dwelly. I said, "Oh my Lord, he's out." Like, you know, when's the last time a quarterback for the 49ers dropped back 5 steps, planted his foot, and threw an out route on a rope, a frozen rope, and it was like, oh, like with Jimmy, with Alex Smith, even with Colin Kaepernick, when they would throw the out route. You kind of lean back like,
I feel
you got a little nervous, right?
Well, B, let's just look at like body type. We walk by some big boys. Big boys. You go by Nick Bosa, you're like, wow, that's an Ohio State body. That is a D1 Ohio State body. You walk by Trey Lance, what did you think? You tell me.
That's an all-pro body.
Right?
That's what I thought.
Okay, if he had been at Clemson or at Alabama, would he have not been an alpha?
He would have been the dude, and he would have been the number 1 overall pick, hands down.
He's being the dude on a field full of dudes, right? So like, that's what I'm going at. Like, and that's the thing when I look at Jimmy, and I kept thinking to myself, like, all right, like I'm being realistic. We're driving down there, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, come on, man, Jimmy's really good. This is where he's at.
Right.
If Jimmy's playing at his best, it'll still be better than mediocre Trey Lance.
Right.
Like, come on, like, get out of here. I'm not so sure anymore.
Yeah.
Like, Jimmy at his best, watching all of the drills and everything that we've seen, Jimmy at his absolute best is still going to throw some, like, oh, my God, some wobblers, some ducks, a couple of decisions that you're like, what is going on here? And then you're just watching Trey. The baseline is excellent.
The baseline.
The baseline's excellent, B.
He went to North Dakota State, and he looked like he belonged on an NFL field in day number 4 at training camp. And I heard he looked like that in day 3, day 2, day 1, and he certainly looked like it yesterday down in Santa Clara here. So 888-957-9570. Let's take some calls in a second.
Yeah, we're going to get some calls. And at 8 o'clock, we're going to have somebody who's been out at practice every single day this week, Jason Aponte. He does a great job. He's got a ton of different podcasts that we're going to plug. There are so many people putting out cool things on the internet. We want to give these people a shout out and give them an opportunity to kind of plug some of their work. And because I just want to talk football with smart, bright, young, new voices.
No doubt. Let's go to, I see Lori in Phoenix. We'll get to you just a second here. Let's go to Jonathan. We'll go to Lori. Let's go to Lori first. Lori, good morning, Lori. You're on 95.7 The Game. Good to hear from you. Didn't know you was on Twitter. I'm telling you, Lori, I know you're Team Jimmy. I'm Team Jimmy. But this Trey Lance kid, when you see him August 14th, Lori, you're going to say, wow, this guy's the real deal.
Yeah, and I totally get it, and I am on board with it. I think the biggest thing about this whole thing is that we got the right pick.
Mm-hmm.
If anything else that we're seeing, because I have heard a lot of that, after the initial pick when we got him, people were excited, and then all of a sudden it was like, you really gave up 3 first-rounders for this guy from North Dakota State? What are you guys, nuts?
It's a great point.
So there was a lot of that too, right?
Yep.
So seeing what we're seeing, and I am more of a mobile, physical quarterback person. I don't just want somebody fast. I want somebody physical because I think that's the whole package. Okay, so I'm all on board with that. I love what I'm seeing. I still think for this season, Jimmy has to be part of the equation, and let me just tell you why. Okay, So Trey is super young. He's never taken a snap as an NFL player, okay? Jimmy not only knows this system, he's been to a Super Bowl, okay? And Jimmy's not just a throwaway quarterback. We can't just say, okay, I've heard people say, oh, Jimmy's trash, Jimmy's this, Jimmy's that. No, none of those things apply, okay? Even if Trey beats him out, I still say you have to keep Jimmy on the roster. And I think a lot of that's going to be for the mentorship. I don't trust Josh Rosen behind Trey Lance. What does Josh Rosen have to offer Trey Lance except for what not to do as a rookie? Okay?
Well, Lori, you make a great point on Josh Rosen. I would just say this. He played all 16 games for the Arizona Cardinals that year and beat the Niners twice. I watched him. He wasn't great. I'm not here to say that he was great.
Better at practice,
but he looked really good in practice. Shockingly. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud.
Right.
I actually liked the way Rosen looked at practice, which, again, it's a big leap of faith on someone like Rosen going from practice to the field.
I'd personally prefer if Jimmy just won his job outright and became like, hey, this is my team.
Yeah.
But what I saw at practice,
call, Lori.
and
Thank
when
you.
yeah, she always brings
Great
the heat.
call.
She always brings the heat. One of the best callers here at the station. But what I saw from Trey Lance, I'm saying, I don't know if Jimmy can hold this guy off.
That's
why I laughed when Jen York said, "Oh, we're totally fine with sitting Trey Lance for 2 years." No, you're not. You're not going to be fine sitting this guy for 2 months, let alone for 2 years. Let's go to Jonathan real quick before we hit the break. Jonathan, what's happening?
Hey, good morning, guys. You guys are just reminding me of, remember when Mark Jackson first says Steph Curry and Klay Thompson,
yes,
the best shooting backcourt, not in the game, in the history of the game. You guys are reminding me of that, man. And then we saw that video yesterday. I mean, Goosebumps usually lasts about a few seconds. This Goosebumps is 2 days old, man, and it's just coming and coming. Because I'm not saying that Trey Lance is going to be the greatest quarterback ever. I mean, come on, man. We got Joe Montana here before and Steve Young. But I could just imagine Mostert untouched touchdowns, right? And then he's scheming it up. Dudes are wide open. Are you telling me that we finally have a quarterback with no limitation, and we saw that Kyle Shanahan offense operated like that, and the guy had a little bit of limitation in Jimmy and whoever else was functioning behind, the center? I mean, come on, man. I'm going to be there Saturday just to see with my 2 eyes because I can't wait. I'm excited. Let's go!
Jonathan and SF, baby, here on the roast. Don't forget this segment was presented by Go to State Lumber, open from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, with some locations open on a Saturday. Visit GoToStateLumber.com for more information. Real quick before we get to Jason Aponte.
Yeah, Lori said something very specific about the 49ers and what they hoped Trey Lance was. I want to get into that just for a minute on the other side.
All right, Jason Aponte coming up here. He's been live at training camp. We'll get his thoughts on Trey Lance here on 95.7 The Game.
They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, with a little inspiration from Lucky.
back to the Morning Roast, presented by Timeless Coffee.
The San Francisco 49ers select Trey.
Yes! Yes! Let's go! Let's go! Come on, Trey! Let's go! Let's go! Woo! Woo!
With Kate, Vontae, and Shasky.
That was Butcher Boy back on, I'm not even going to say Butcher Boy, Butcher back on April 29th, NFL Draft, when the Niners selected Trey Lance number 3 overall. There's a lot of smoke screens about Mac Jones, Justin Fields, and the Niners selected Trey Lance, who looks the part. They look like, as Lori said, in Phoenix, it looks like the 49ers made the right pick here, as he looks great right now in training camp.
And as before we go out to training camp, one of the things that I got to say is, even in their wildest dreams, there's a leap of faith when you make this big of a move, right?
No doubt.
You and I had a belief that they were probably in on, at some point, Stafford. They're probably in on some point at Deshaun Watson and all the different quarterbacks. There's like 50 different quarterbacks they went through. Even if they would have been told on game day, if you will, the day they made the trade for all the picks with Miami, right. It's like, man, there is a leap of faith. Like, I don't know. I think he has surpassed their wildest dreams,
no doubt,
in Trey Lance already.
And it's a credit to what he's done in the offseason with this quarterback coach,
absolutely,
Quincy Avery, and
the
John
iPad.
Beck, the iPad.
That news doesn't just come out of left field.
He's putting the work in the 650 here on the text line, 888-957-9570. Let's put it this way. People were ready to get the keys on Mullins and Beathard when Jimmy struggled and was hurt. So what's stopping them from wanting Trey Lance in there?
That's a great point.
There was nobody. Well, maybe there's a couple
there were people calling into this show.
Yeah, ready to get the keys in Mullins. And what did I tell every one of those people that called about Mullins and Beathard? You're on crack. You're drunk. Do not give the keys
Bitcoin
to these guys. All right. Shout out to everybody on YouTube.
Yeah.
Our roasters on YouTube, our roasters on Twitch. They're fired up right now talking about Trey
Subscribe
Lance.
and punch that like button.
Yep, no doubt. A lot of people are fired up about the Niners. There's some people fired up about the Raiders because I hear Derek Carr is looking good down at training camp. So let's get another training camp report because we like to talk to people who are there, got their set of eyes right there at practice. And we're going to go to Jason Aponte. He hasn't been on the Morning Roast yet.
No.
And I've seen a lot of his stuff on the internet. He's got 1 million podcasts. Every time I see him, he's on a podcast, YouTube. But he's putting in work. He's putting in work for the 49ers, and he's been at training camp. So, Jason, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Roast. Joe Shasky, the Butcher, Bonte Hill. And, we're over here over the last hour talking about Trey Lance because we went down to practice Saturday. And we were hyped up off what we saw. Now, you've been at practice as well, at training camp. Is the hype real about Trey Lance? Because I don't think our listeners really believe what Shasky and I are saying.
Yeah, good morning to both of you guys, and it's a pleasure to be here with you guys, and it's a great honor. But, yes, I mean, the hype is very real. With so many of the zone reads that were implemented later on in practice, the Trey is just ripping off chunk run after chunk run. Obviously everybody gets excited about the throw yesterday, falling back to the left to Trent Sherfield. It's an amazing throw. Everybody gets buzzed about that. But yesterday, what I was really impressed with was the install of the quick game for him. He was quick, decisive, knew where to go with the ball. He completed his first 13 passes, with his last one being a deep pass up the sideline. But he looks the part, and he looks like somebody who every day is growing confidence, and it looks like Kyle Shanahan's having a ton of fun unleashing those runs with him because he sees how much stress it's putting on the defense at this point.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, everybody can see it, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's just fun standing there watching this guy, and then conversely, I'm watching Jimmy Garoppolo, and it's not that he looks horrible per se. He's got some ups, he's got some downs. It's just he's holding on to the ball for so long. What's your assessment of Jimmy Garoppolo been through camp?
Yeah, I mean, with Jimmy Garoppolo, it's so strange because he has so many really nice throws in practice, and you say, hey, there it is. It's just about really stringing it together. And I think that the problem is, more than anything, is that it's the quick, short, intermediate stuff that he still, that's basically his game, and it's his bag, is getting the ball and getting it out quickly. There was, I believe it was the third session where he was taking more shots down the field, actually, up the seam, outside the numbers. So I just think at this point, Jimmy Garoppolo is who he is. And if he wants to continue to take these QB1 reps, he's got to become more consistent and have some of those throws that, sometimes you'll see in a game, right? Jimmy will make a throw and you'll say, oh, man, what was that? But he bounces back, and that's something that's always been something that's been in his bag. So, Jimmy Garoppolo has been very efficient when it comes to getting the ball out very quickly. But, when Trey is taking shots further down the field, when Trey is making, on the run throws, those throws become, kind of just who Jimmy Garoppolo is at this point. And nobody should really be shocked at this point.
No doubt. Jason Aponte here on the Morning Roast doing a fantastic job as he's covering training camp down in Santa Clara. Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo's taking the football world by storm here. And Shanahan, Jason, we pick apart Shanahan's pressers all the time. And he's basically saying, look, man, Jimmy's the best quarterback in the facility right now. All right, Trey Lance hasn't taken reps with the ones, although he did take a rep with the ones, and he has been throwing to Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel in practice. What do you think Shanahan is thinking right now? Do you think Shanahan has the gall to do the unthinkable and say, you know what, I got to go with Trey Lance when we suit up against the Detroit Lions in week 1 of the regular season?
I think if Trey Lance continues to progress and his trajectory goes to where it is and he starts to show a grasp of the offense and continues to it's really good what he's doing because he's doing everything Shanahan's asking in each practice. So, as I said yesterday, they unleashed some zone reads, but they also ran, just some design runs, some power, some counters even with him. And, these are the things that he keeps adding in. I think that as Shanahan goes along and he sees what he can install and how Trey can execute it, it's going to be very tough for him to say no at this point, especially if he continues to progress. So I think it'll be better when, today's going to be the second day in pads. Once you start to see him moving around in pads and then you talk about him in preseason games, if he starts to really play well in preseason games, that noise is going to get too loud to ignore. So I think that Shanahan's having a fun time installing little by little and knowing that he's about to wreak havoc on defenses with what Trey Lance can offer.
I think one of the areas of frustration for Niner fans the last 3-4 seasons has been the red zone efficiency. It's like they get down there and then they stall out, and it seems like they have guys open, and maybe they just don't rip it. For whatever reason, they're not scoring enough touchdowns. They worked specifically on red zone packages. What were some of your takeaways, both for Trey and Jimmy Garoppolo?
So the red zone portion, it didn't happen yesterday, but it did happen the day before.
Gotcha.
And as soon as the red zone portion opens, Trey Lance scores 3 different touchdowns. He throws a touchdown to Hogan in the flat. He runs one in himself, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he threw one in to Sanu over the middle. So you're absolutely right. When you get down there, you don't want 3, you want 7. And right. I think that if there is where Jimmy is going to be starting week 1, there's still going to be a package for Trey Lance in that red zone area because those are points and how good he is with his ball fake. As far as Jimmy Garoppolo goes, that's where he threw the interception to Warner. Yes, B. Ford was offside. The ball kind of floated up, but he did finish stronger and finished with 2 touchdowns towards the end. So, yeah, that red zone is so important. Chasky, you're absolutely right about that because you want to get down there. You don't want 3. You don't want to have a turnover. You always want 7, and 7's what's going to win games. And Trey Lance seems to be immediately in his first 3 reps scoring 3 touchdowns, very comfortable with the offense in that portion of the field.
And it looks like Trey can give you a better chance to get those chunk plays like Kaepernick did when he replaced Alex Smith. Niners went from 13-play, 80-yard drives to 5-play, 80-yard drives and touchdowns there. And David Akers was breaking the field goal record with Alex Smith. They were scoring touchdowns with Colin Kaepernick here. What about the defense? The reaction to the defense, Jason, when you think about Dre Greenlaw yesterday commenting, this guy's got the best arm, hands down, I've ever seen in my life. D'Amico Ryan saying, man, the advantage we get to go against Trey Lance. The reactions of Fred Warner. Don't the players kind of tell you who they favor on the football field by the way they react?
Oh yeah, I mean Fred is such a quiet leader, and I know that this isn't something that's really huge, but when the team comes out first thing, he's out there setting up the garbage cans. I mean, this is a man that's making $90-something million, right? And no one would blame him for not doing any of it, but I think it speaks to his character, and the defense obviously feeds off of him. He has 2 interceptions in camp. When he scored on the pick 6, I want to say the second or third day, the whole defense was juiced, and they are completely around him, and he is the leader for that defense. I mean, as far as the defense goes, Jimmy Ward is elite in coverage. They don't even really test him as much. The Jason Verrett Brandon Ayuk battle has been prime time, like middle of the ring, boxing one-on-one. It's been amazing to watch. Jason Verrett is in his bag, and it's so fun to watch Brandon Ayuk. The whole iron sharpens iron thing is very true. And that's another thing I think we should put into context when it comes to Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going against the number 1 defense. Those packages that they have of D. Ford, who performed in 11-on-11 yesterday and actually looks like he has burst close to where it was in 2019, which should excite every single 49er fan. Jimmy Garoppolo is going against those guys, those ones like Warner and Greenlaw. So that's some of the confidence that you need as well too. But yes, that defense is definitely centered around Fred, and he is the glue, and he's the guy that they rally around.
Oh, I love it. Jason Aponte over here just giving us nuggy nug after nuggy nug down at 49er training camp. And Jason, this has been an outstanding hit. We really appreciate it. Before you get on out here, what's some of the weaknesses of this team? B and I went down there. We were just hyper-focused on the defensive line, and that was not watching Bosa or Ford or Kinlaw in the team activities. They were barely in the one-on-one drills at times. What do you think is the big weakness for the 49ers now that you've kind of got an up-close and personal view of them?
Yeah, honestly, it was something that I had been, harping about at least a little bit in the offseason, and I think it's cornerback depth. I mean, I think, what I'm saying about Jason Verrett is consistent with everybody's team. It's a guy who, when he's healthy, he can be an all-pro. I like that good. And you saw it towards the end of the year last year. But unfortunately, with Emmanuel Mosley on COVID list, Tim Harris is banged up. Dante Johnson's working through something. Drake Kirkpatrick came into Santa Clara for a workout, didn't leave with the deal. And the 49ers signed B.W. Webb yesterday. So obviously they feel the way that I do is cornerback depth. Emmanuel Mosley is a very solid number 2, but after him it gets a little hairy. The rookies, as far as it goes, Ambry Thomas has struggled a bit. But
Diamador Lenore, trust me. We've blown that one 15 million times already, Jason.
Yeah, Diamador Lenore has been actually a lot better. So I think it's just really cornerback depth. I think that's really it at this point. I would like to see them get a veteran in there. I'm more about what can I project them, but I know. So if you get a veteran in there who has a track record in this team, I think it'll make things a lot easier. So I would just say cornerback depth at this point.
Real quick, Jason, are you worried about the receiver depth at all? Because I am. I know a lot of people want Ayuk to return punts, and look, he could be a great punt returner, but if he goes down, Debo goes down, I'm not sold on the rest of the wide receiver core, and that includes Mohamed Sanu. What about wide receiver depth?
Yes, I mean, that's a good point because after Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, it's a little bit like, okay, it's going to be a hodgepodge of whoever at number 3. Mohamed Sanu has been solid. I got to say, Trent Sherfield has really stepped up.
Looks good.
Everybody believed that he was going to be a special teamer, but he's been running amazing routes. He got some run with the ones yesterday, and Jimmy and Trey are throwing to him. So that's another good sign. So, I kind of wanted them to address it in the draft. They signed Austin Watkins, who's been getting some reps as well, too, made a really nice catch in receiver drills. But, with the receiver depth, Kendrick Bourne is somebody that, 49er fans said, hey, we probably could part with him, but I don't think people understand how solid he was and how that makes the receiver room as a whole much more solid. So it's going to be interesting to see if one of these guys can step in, but it seems like this wide receiver 3 position is going to be filled with, Sanu, Richie James, even Trent Sherfield. So they seem like they're going to use I guess the word is like not a committee, I guess, but it's not going to be one person who's going to take over all those snaps.
No,
Jason Aponte.
Swiss Army knife. No, Jason. You follow him on Twitter, Jason Aponte, 2103.
Plug your podcast, Jason. Plug your podcast. Where can we find your work?
Pod.
Yeah, thank you, guys. And, this is a blast. This is an absolute honor. I appreciate you guys for having me on. Yeah, so you guys can listen to the Sprint Right Option podcast, which comes on once a week with Andrew Pasquini. We're anywhere that you get your streaming platforms, and you can follow me on YouTube. Just look me up on Jason Aponte. That's where you're going to find most of my work. But this is a blast, and
keep grinding
for having me on. This is something I'm always going to remember.
Yeah, we're going to do it again. Keep grinding, man. This was awesome. We like hearing from those firsthand experiences. Thank you, Jason.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great day.
Very cool.
You too. Jason Aponte here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game, giving us a first-hand report from down in training camp because there's a bunch of people covering training camp.
Good.
A bunch of people, and I love it. I love it.
Too.
I
told you I'm watching all the videos.
Look, we're watching all. I've watched more videos, and it's sickening how I can't put my phone down.
You laughed at me watching all the videos of Trey Lance a couple months ago, and look at you.
No, well, you laughed at me
first into all these videos.
Well, you laughed at me in November when I was watching this North Dakota State film while you were still slurping up on Zach Wilson, and then you moved over to Justin Fields, and I'm like, hey, Trey, what about Trey? And all of a sudden, we're both on a Trey trade. Look, I wasn't going to go crazy over minicamp because I knew training camp, the hype. We talked about training camp, like when training camp opens.
I told you.
The cameras are going to be out.
I know.
And the hype train's going to be real.
I know.
I thought it would take maybe a week. It took 3 practices. It took 3 practices.
It took 3 throws from you and me.
I took 3 throws,
and
man.
here's my favorite part. Like, doesn't the, like, honest to God, doesn't the 49ers social team make it out like, if I was just looking on social and I was just looking at the videos.
They know what they're
from
doing.
the 49ers account.
Dude.
Trey's the MVP of the league. He's not just a backup quarterback. Like, are you kidding me?
Dude, those slow-mo videos with the beat in the background. And
Unreal.
they throw the ball. Dude, how pumped were Niner fans to see that throw? Because that's what we heard yesterday about 12 o'clock. Cam Emmon, Dieter Kurtenbach, Chris Biederman, Matt Mayoko, Eric Branch, Grant Cohn.
Yep.
All these reporters at around 12 o'clock, 12:01. Oh, my God, the throw to Trey Lance just made. And I was just like, I wish I was at practice. And then our guy, Nick Newman, sends me a long text.
Yeah, what it say?
Bonte, I just seen the craziest throw from freaking Trey Lance. Oh, my God, he rolled to the left. Look, let me read the text verbatim, man, because he was losing his mind.
Yeah,
oh,
so
man.
were you.
I was.
Were you sweating?
Oh, dude, I was sweating. I couldn't even find the text, man, because the internet is janky in here.
I think he sent me the same one, so I'm going to look for it to make sure that you're not so special that we both got equal treatment.
We probably did send. He should have just sent us a group text, though. He goes, here it is from Niner Nick. Niner Nick.
I can't
just witnessed the craziest pass from Trey Lance. Trey area. Beat the rush, rolled out left, and threw a 50-yard dot to Trent Sherfield for a touchdown.
Hey, I mean, and then you see it on the internet, and everybody on the internet who was commenting on it, obviously, they were like, wow, what a throw. But the people who were at practice said that the video that the Niners put out didn't give the throw and the play justice. But here's the thing. B.
Let's hear from Cam Emmett real quick on the throw. If you don't believe us, will you listen to Cam Emmett and believe him from the Mercury News?
He rolled left. He hit Trent Sherfield about 50 yards on the fly, and it just looked like one of the best passes I've seen on this practice field ever. And that's too much to say because it's just a training camp practice, but when it's a rookie who hasn't been in many practices and showed some poise and how to use that play and trust his receiver and just drop a dime downfield like that, I mean, it was really good to see.
When I seen him throw that ball, I was like, oh, my God. Just watching that game, I was like, Alex, you're in trouble, man.
Well, honest to God, like, B, you said on the video, and I was thinking it like, man, I felt hella empathy for Jimmy Garoppolo. Right?
I did.
And you were like, poor Jimmy. Well, not poor Jimmy because he's made a lot of money. But it is poor Jimmy. Like, I mean, it.
No, you know why? Because here's the thing with Jimmy. And this is what disturbed me about Jimmy. I was not happy with Shanahan basically flirting with other quarterbacks because I thought he had a quarterback in place.
Yeah, he was.
I
all
saw
in
what
the
Jimmy
DMs.
did,
yeah.
dude. It was great, but man, like Jimmy, I wanted him to stand up for himself. My quarterback, I want him to tell the front office, "You're flirting with Tom Brady. Screw you.
Yeah,
screw you." He just like accepted it. Yeah, they were transparent with me. I knew what was going on. That's what's so great about the organization. Dude, you're being too nice, man. You're being too nice. They're trying to replace you.
Yeah.
They're trying to replace you, dude. Go out there, go do it, go win, go play. And now all of a sudden, Trey Lance is at camp, and he's making all these throws, and Jimmy now is staying after practice to run sprints and throw deep routes.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that, but it's a little too late. It's a little too late.
Well, I mean, look, man, sometimes people don't realize. Look, if you had Nick Mullins pushing you and C.J. Beathard, would you be at practice throwing a little extra afterwards? Like, I'm being 100% with you.
You should have been doing that. You should have been doing that 2 years ago.
Even if he works on all of these little things that we're talking about right now, I still think Trey is at such a level. Look, physically, he can just do things that Jimmy will never in his wildest dreams be able to do. The other part of this is, as much as this is a physical mismatch in terms of Trey's just going to look a certain way on a field, in pads, without pads, in shorts, throwing a ball, like whatever, there's a psychological thing that has happened with Jimmy Garoppolo simultaneously. You cannot tell me whatever has happened between him and Shanahan has not affected his psyche and his confidence.
Oh, it has. Big time.
Cannot tell me whatever happened to his body over the last couple of years, because he's a smaller dude. Like, he is a smaller dude when you look on that football field, especially in contrast to Trey, Sudfeld, and Rosen, right? Wouldn't you agree? Josh Rosen's a big dude.
Big dude.
Big dude, right?
And he looks
Jimmy
like he has
looks
a stronger
little
arm.
compared to them. And he's not little overall, but he looks little next to them. The knee, the ankle, he's had some injuries, man. And I think that there is at some spot a blend of his confidence, his psyche, his physical inability to do some of the things that he could do just a couple of years ago. It's all coming down right now on him. And I honestly legit feel empathy.
Well, I just look at him when he leaves the huddle and Trey Lance is in at quarterback or Josh Rosen's in at quarterback or Nate Sudfeld's in at quarterback. Jimmy's just kind of off to a side talking to a random coach. Where other players are just around each other. It feels like, you know what I'm saying? He's just not talking to the offensive lineman. He's kind of awkward in that way. Look, do I feel bad for him? Yes, a little bit. I do. But he had a chance to take this job. He had a chance to prevent the Niners from picking a quarterback of the future. He did. He did. And they flirted with quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. And 2020 was a big year for him. It was a big year, and unfortunately, he was hurt. Now, was the injury fluky? I commend him for playing through the injury because he saw the writing on the wall. He tried to play through the injury. And I think that's one thing about Jimmy Garoppolo that gets lost is that he is a tough guy. He's a tough quarterback. 2019, we saw him in the Pittsburgh Steelers game.
No doubt.
Take shot after shot after shot. And he stood in there and still delivered the game-winning touchdown pass to Dante Pettis.
Will you grant me this? If I'm playing devil's advocate and if I'm making the argument for Jimmy Garoppolo on his behalf, as much as he bears a ton of the brunt, right, as I pull out the pie chart of culpability, there is a big slice for Shanahan and team building in terms of putting an infrastructure in place. If you're going to have a pocket quarterback, man, it would have been nice to have, had a pocket. It would have been nice to invest properly in the center position,
and
the
wide receiver, or the wide receiver position, and giving this guy weapons. This guy walked on the field in week 1 last season.
And I'm not taking it all off, Jimmy. I'm just saying, it ain't all one or the other. I think it's a blend of both.
No, and this is what I've been saying about Shanahan. You let this guy walk on a football field with Dante Pettis, Trent Taylor, and Kendrick Bourne as your wide receivers and say, go win a football game. Come on, man. Dante Pettis is barely hanging on in the league.
I know.
Trent Taylor apparently
is he in the league?
I think he's with the New York Giants.
He puts out fire TikToks, though.
And then Trent Taylor, the fact that you follow Dante Pettis on TikTok is amazing.
No, Dante Pettis is who I follow on TikTok.
Dante Pettis,
he's saying Trent Taylor looks great at Bengals game.
Yeah, that's what I was just trying to explain to you. That's the report.
I was confused here as I try to navigate 7 pages of the internet as we're streaming on every platform. I'm talking to Langford. I apologize.
When I seen him throw that ball, I was like, oh my God. Just watching that game, I was like,
can't play it enough.
Alex, you're in trouble, man. Alex, my boy. But that kid right there, he has to be on the field and he has to play. He has to play.
When was that?
When
was that Adrian Peterson quote?
So that's when they were doing the top 100, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he was on NFL Films, and his face, the face does it justice. He goes, when I seen him throw that ball, I said, oh, my God. The way he moved his face.
Bonte.
And they had a spiral, and it was a slow-motion bomb from Mahomes. And I was like, oh. And he goes, Alex, man, you in trouble.
If I reach out right now, I'm just reaching my arm out, as you can see. I could almost touch all of the defense. We were standing on the field, okay? Some of them had their helmets on. Some of them had their helmets off. Trey Lance rolled outright and ripped the ball down the field, out of bounds, okay? And it was kind of a late, he waited a little too long. He didn't just rip it. He threw it. And I looked, and we were running on the field. This is the play we were talking about earlier this week. And I looked at all the faces of all the players, and whatever you just described in Adrian Peterson's face, saying you in trouble, that is exactly the look that all the defensive linemen had looking over at Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo.
When I seen him throw that ball, I was like, oh my God. Just watching that game, I was like, Alex, you're in trouble, man. Alex, my boy. But that kid right there, he has to be on the field. He has to play. He has to play.
He has to play. And you know what?
Hey.
I felt like that with Jimmy. I said, Jimmy Garoppolo, you're my boy. You're my guy. But boy, Trey Lance, when I seen him throw that ball.
Right.
And you talk about that spiral when I went out. I will never get that image. See, our listeners on Twitch and YouTube.
Yes.
They could see us. And people who are listening the old school way. Hit the like button, subscribe, text line, Twitch, all that stuff. We love our roasters here on 95.7 The Game. But my face when Trey rolled out to the right, and it felt like it was slow motion. He got out of the pocket. So everybody's like, oh, Trey's out of the pocket. And he slowed down and let it rip. It was like slow motion watching everybody on the field in Niner uniforms and media members run on the field to see what that throw was. We were damn near on the hash mark, Shasky. We could have got kicked out of practice with the way we ran on the field to see where that ball landed.
I know. They kept telling us, back up, back up.
Back up.
Back up guy was like, can you back up?
Can you back up? Flag.
The equivalent of Bonte's face at that moment, if you've ever been with your homies and you're out in front of the bar and one of your buddies is just running their mouth and you're like, uh-oh, he's about to get laid out, and there's nothing you can really do about it, and you're like, yeah, there's like 7 of them and 2 of us, like we're out on this, and you watch one of your closest buddies. That was you looking at Jimmy Garoppolo getting laid out by the bouncer right in front of the club where you're like, shouldn't have been running your mouth.
Should have been. Dude, Jimmy is done. Jimmy is done. And look, 650, you guys analyze Jimmy's sideline stance like James Wiseman body language. We love James Wiseman. On this show, we do not want James Wiseman traded. And you know what?
Here, I was glad to see him on the bench.
Weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
He looked good.
He was on the bench at the California Classic last night.
Let's get into that, man. The California Classic up in Sacramento. We're going to drive up to Sac today to go watch the debut of Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga making their debut for the Golden State Warriors Summer League team today in Sacramento. I believe they take on the Miami Heat, but that's irrelevant. We're just watching Moody and Kuminga. And watching James Wiseman have fun on the sideline next to Jordan Poole.
Bro.
That brought a smile to my face.
It did.
Because a lot of people have disrespected the 20-year-old. Wanted him traded, saying he's a bust, saying he's not good, saying he's slowing down Steph Curry's timeline, saying, oh, Tom Haberstroh, oh, man, when he's on the court with Steph Curry, all the plus, minus, yada, 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 yada. It was good and refreshing to see James Wiseman part of the Summer League team and kind of soaking in some game there from the sidelines.
Yeah, it was really good to see him there. A lot of the players playing for the Warriors last night, I was like, I don't even know who any of these guys are.
Right.
Let's start with the guy that he's basically like the Bigfoot for Warriors Twitter, Justinian Jessup. Let's start there. Give me all your thoughts on Justinian Jessup.
He needs a lot of work. He needs a lot of work.
Flat-footed, right?
He seems stiff. Doesn't seem really athletic. He was like, at one point, he was like 0 for 6. Kendra Andrews had to tweet out like, oh, he's 0 for 6 and 0 for 3 from the three-point line. Kendra Andrews, of course, from the NBC Sports Bay Area. And I thought he was a guy, the way Twitter talked about him. Oh, man, he lit up Australia. Could he come in and be a spot-up shooter? I don't know. Maybe he's a couple years away, man. I was not impressed with Justinian Jessup.
Yeah, he on defense, because like everybody knows he can shoot, right? Offensively, he's quirky. He's got some little subtleties to his game. As they like to say for the slow white guys, he's crafty, right? Like that's the word that we'll use. But defensively, it's like, hey, can this guy stay in front of people? He's jumping out and getting blown by over and over and over again. Now, again, it's one game. We'll see what the body of work is. I'll be real with you, B. Feels like a stretch.
Yeah.
At this moment this morning, feels like a stretch.
It's a stretch.
Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. What you think of Davion Mitchell from Sacramento?
Davion Mitchell, I didn't realize how small he was. Like that, his height really, like, this is the thing I don't think people realize. And to be 6 feet or 6'1" and play in the NBA, you have to be outstanding. Outstanding, okay? To be a Earl Boykins is almost impossible, right? You know, 5'7", playing in the league.
Right.
And I don't know what Davion Mitchell's height is. He obviously plays tougher than whatever his height is, and you have to when you're that size. But people saying he's Donovan Mitchell meets Chris Paul. I mean, can we take a deep breath? Let's put a little bit of the ice water on everything. I like the kid. I'm glad the Warriors didn't take him, though, B. And the reason why I say this is I look at him and I'm saying to myself, for him to ever be a consistent starter on a winning team, just right now, I get one game. I don't want to. That's really hard because he's so small. He's so small. And I just look at Steph and him and I'm glad they didn't make that move.
Yeah,
now, I don't know if
too.
Kuminga's the right move for the Warriors, but I know that Davion Mitchell at that spot at 7, I wouldn't have liked it, to be honest with you. He could score in the paint. Don't love his shooting form, although his college numbers tell you he's a way better shooter than what I saw last night. I'm just saying, I'm okay the Warriors not taking him. Right guy for the right team in Sac, maybe. Wrong guy for the Warriors with this roster.
925, text line. Drucker Miller was a specimen and made all the $1 million throws in 7-on-7 too. He's selling white wall tires in Blacksburg now. Trey Lance better update your appointment.
Well, that's
too.
categorically false because Bill Walsh and a bunch of his staff basically said
Didn't
when they
want
got
him.
drunk,
Right, they wanted Jake Plummer.
Exactly, and they were never impressed with Drunken Miller at any point, unlike the 49ers. Back to the Warriors thing real quick, and again, this is going deep inside the Reddit of Warriors. This Jaquari McLaughlin, and if I'm saying his name wrong, Jaquari, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. He was a Gaucho.
Yeah, UC Santa Barbara.
I'd never seen him play. All right, I'm telling you straight. I was really impressed with him. He's a bigger dude. I don't know if he's 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". I'm not sure how big he is.
Mm-hmm.
His feel for point guard, passing, setting up others, understanding that he could get his shot at any moment. Now, again, it's a summer league game.
Right.
I'm not losing my mind. I like him, though. I put a little highlight through his name, and I'm like, I want to see more, but I really like his game.
You kind of showed me a little more than Nico Mannion already.
Going back to the size thing,
right?
If you're going to be
Too
6
small.
feet, 6'1",
you got to be quick. You got to have a shot. You got to be able to blow by guys. You got to have great handles. This guy looked okay. I'm eager to see him, see if he plays on a back-to-back today up in Sacramento.
This is going to sound absurd, right? So please, people who are clipping this on Instagram for the 957 page.
I mean, they make us look absurd every single day.
It's ridiculous.
Bielitsa. Will he be at Summer League today? Watching his future teammates.
We'll get to Bia in a second. Doesn't McLaughlin give me, again, vibes? I'm not saying he's anywhere close to this guy. A little what I was looking for in Jalen Suggs. In terms of like court commander, you know what I'm saying? Bigger body, can do a little bit of everything, just has a really good feel. Now, obviously Jalen Suggs his talent is immense. Right. I mean, I'm not saying, but I'm saying like in terms of body type and what I was looking for from a floor general standpoint.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go Suggs yet. I like what I saw though.
I'm
the
saying vibes. Like sometimes you know I give out the good vibes.
To be honest with you, I don't know if I caught a vibe from the Summer League game last night. I was just kind of watching.
Really?
I was just kind of watching. Honestly, I was a little let down because Kuminga and Moody didn't play.
That's fair.
So I was just like, all right, I'll check out Jessup. My eyes were focused on Jessup. Anybody else? By the way, who's the kid from Sacramento? Mark Spears put out a tweet. He maybe had the worst field goal attempt in NBA history.
That's impressive.
Did you see the guy from Sacramento from the quarter? It was less than a minute left in the fourth quarter. He shot at 3 from the quarter. And it didn't just hit the side of the backboard.
Yeah.
It went behind the backboard. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
It was, who was that?
That's my other big takeaway of Summer League. Everyone thinks they have the green light.
Dude, I was like, all right, this game needs to end now. And it actually went to overtime. Hopefully, Davion Mitchell, for Sacramento's sake, is not hurt for too long.
What happened there at the hamstring?
Yeah,
I had it on mute.
He was rubbing his hamstring. I had it on mute, too. It was on mute. It was a mute game.
The wife was on the side of me. Both dogs. My dog was just farting up a storm last night.
Was she watching Summer League with you?
No, she was doing iPad, and she had her volume up a little, and I had TV on mute in the darkness as I pretended to try to go to sleep. Yeah. I was doing the fried fish. You know when you move around in the bed left and right.
Right. Oh, so you guys are in bed watching the TV and the iPad and stuff. See, Anna doesn't let me do that. She's like, go on the couch. So while I was on the couch, laptop,
wait till you're 10
big screen, big screen, and then she was on her work computer shopping for dresses and stuff like that. Like, I saved $300 buying this and that, and I was like, all right, whatever.
Now we're here.
Uh-oh.
Do you have separate credit cards?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
The key to a healthy marriage. Everyone's like, it's finances. You got to share every dollar.
Well,
no. You got to allow both of you your own opportunity to have your own credit card so that there's no shame and guilt.
We do have the family credit card.
Of course.
We got the family credit card.
You got to share finances at the top.
Right.
But on the credit card action,
my own credit card.
Within reason.
If I want to buy my own J's, I'll buy my own J's.
Exactly.
If I want to buy my own pair of pants, I'll buy my own pair of pants.
So does she give you a budget? How's that working?
No. I got my own credit card. I got my own budget. Got my own save. Come on, man. And then we got our credit card.
Deep.
We got our credit card with the limit, and
I'm
this
sure
is where we do our
Anna's
shopping.
better with money than you are.
Oh, I'm great with money. I'm frugal, man. I'm part Jewish. I'm really not, but I'm basically Jewish. I'm frugal, man.
It's. I love you, bro. I love you.
I'm frugal. I don't spend money, man.
So you had no other takeaways from this
not
Warriors
really.
thing?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. Not really. I was watching. I was just like,
well,
it's cool to have basketball.
What are you looking for tonight?
Yeah, I'm looking for Kuminga and Moody. I just want to see them. How raw is Kuminga? How raw is he? I want to see the athleticism, and then I want to see Moody.
What position?
I want to see Moody.
Are they going to play alongside each other?
I think they have to, right? You got to
Shooting
start
guard,
them.
small forward?
Yeah, so you have to start them. You have to start him. And you know what?
Yes, I get. You know, you're right.
You know what? And I want to see how athletic Kuminga is. I want to see him defensively. How does he switch? How does he communicate? And I want to see Moody's command of the game because he can handle the ball. And he has that mid-range jumper. He has a three-pointer. And you see him yesterday on the sideline. He was engaged. I just want to see these two guys play. And I'm going to envision them as the second stringers for the Golden State Warriors this upcoming season. I'm going to get my guru on, or I'm looking at them in a real Warriors uniform, in the throwback Warrior uniform, saying, how can they help Steph Curry and company? That's how I'm going to be viewing this game. How quickly can they adapt to the NBA game?
Well, I just want to see, because I could tell last night there's a lot of non-NBA players on that court.
There's a lot.
I mean, I would say all of them.
Dude, Summer League is a who's who.
I mean, but Davion looks, look, he looks like he's an NBA player, right? We will agree there, right?
No doubt.
There's a big drop-off after him, especially when he left the court. In just terms of, like, just getting good shots. I mean, that's the number one thing. I want to see some discernment. I want to see the defense. I want to see just some of the shot selection, some of the basic basketball IQ in the half court. But I'm not going to lose my mind one way or the other. I am admitting it on the front end. I am not going to lose my mind. I promise you.
The game should be on ESPN tonight. It was on ESPN2 last night. We'll double-check that, Curly, if you can, what channel the game is on. Warriors and Heat, 5 p.m. at the Golden One Center, the California Classic. This your first Summer League game you ever got to?
First Summer League.
Oh, man.
I've never been to Golden One Center.
Oh, you're going to have fun.
Yeah, so we're going to go up 80. We're going to go up 80. And what do you think it's going to take us, 2 hours to get up there?
Well, it depends. Maybe we go to Gay Bridge route, depending on the traffic.
And then, 37 and shoot on over?
I'm telling you, 37.
I do that on the way home from Tahoe.
37 sometimes, though.
It might take a little longer,
dude,
but at least your car's moving.
That sunset behind you. It
is nice.
It is nice going up to Sacramento. Did you just hit it in Sacramento? You get off and go to One Center. You got a bar right next door to it. They have parking for us. It's going to be lit up there. It was packed up there.
93 degrees at 6 p.m. at night.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm ready for that. Now, is it going to be cooled inside the stadium?
Yeah, usually it is. It has some AC pumping.
And will the Batmobile have AC?
Come on, the Batmobile's got everything.
Because I'm questioning whether I'm wearing pants or shorts tonight.
Batmobile has AC. Batmobile has heat. It's got the tinted windows. You're going to be good in the Batmobile. Come on, man.
Oh, there's all kinds of people posting stuff on Twitter right now of Moody and Kuminga rebounding for a bunch of players that are shooting shots. I guess this was from last night. So Guru's meeting us up there. We're going up there with Young Nash.
He says he's meeting us up there.
Why, you think he's going to ghost us?
Come on, Guru. Langford. Is Guru not the king of ghosting?
He'll show up, but then he'll leave without telling you, and you're just going to be like, where's Guru at?
The Irish goodbye.
The Irish goodbye. He's the king at that.
How many cocktails is he going to have tonight?
If he gets out the house, he's going to have a few. Because your man hasn't been out the house in a long time.
They sell any apple martinis over there at Golden One?
Dude,
is he a martini guy?
Dude, he is.
What's with the apple part?
I don't know.
What is he, James Bond?
Maybe it's a Union City thing. I don't know.
And the broadcast is going to be on ESPNU tonight.
Oh, okay. It was on ESPN2 last night.
Right, ESPNU.
Yeah,
ESPNU.
okay. So we're going to go see the Miami Heat versus the Warriors, correct?
Miami Heat versus the Warriors.
Is there anyone on the Miami Heat that I need to be aware of?
I don't think so. I don't even know who they drafted this
You think
year.
Pat Riley's there?
Pat Riley's definitely there.
We should get a video with Pat Riley tonight. And this is what I would say to people out there that are listening. If you're out there, hit us up on social media, hit us up on IG, hit us up on Twitter. We're going to be out there. We're going to shoot a bunch of videos. We're going to run into the who's who of media. I am the Rogue Media member, but Bonte is affiliated, and all the NBA people know who he is. I'm sure he's going to act like the mayor. Come up, say hi. Let's take some photos. We'll post it all over. It's 957 Takeover Summer League. Let's do this.
Let's do this. It's going to be a lot of fun up there. And Stephen Curry made it official. He sat down with Marcus Thompson in The Athletic about signing this 4-year, $215 million contract extension. And look, this deal is loaded. I mean, Steph Curry, just look at the money that he's going to be making with this contract. And here it is, as my internet,
give it to me,
for some reason, is just completely botched in here right now. All right, here it is. Breakdown of Steph Curry's extension. 2022-23.
Okay.
$48 million.
Woo!
2023-24, $51.9 million. 2024-25, $55.7 million. In the last year of his deal at 2025-26, Steph Curry will be making $59.6 million.
That's why he remodeled that Atherton home, huh?
Did he do that?
Yeah, that's the rumors that I've been seeing all around. And here's the other thing.
That was a $30 million home.
He's got to be the highest paid singular season athlete in Bay Area history, right? There's no one close to that,
close.
right?
Nobody
I can't
close.
Even think. Bonds had a year of maybe 20 or 25 million.
There's nobody. There's nobody close. Nobody close.
Man, how much money will he have made in his entire career?
Well, that's two $200 million contracts. So that's $400 million right there.
And how much do you think he's making from all the Under Armour golf stuff? Because he's got his own brand of golf gear. Olympic Club, okay, when you go into the pro shop at Olympic Club, they got Steph Curry golf gear in there. Now, I don't know how much, but they do have it there.
Steph Curry, when it's all said and done.
I'll rock some Currys.
When it's all said and done.
Do you have some free ones?
I do have some free ones. I have a couple pair of
Give me
free
them
ones.
golf ones.
I don't have the golf ones.
I do like the.
It had a pop-up shop last year in Oakland. Kolsky and I did a show from there 2 years ago.
Yeah, you've been talking about that for 2 years.
I mean,
the three logo with the golf hat. I've been trying to find that one. He has the small logoed one. I want the one with the big logo in the middle, and I can't find that hat. I really want that one. We're gonna have to run into some. Maybe Mark Spears tonight. We run into him or Anthony Slater. They can help hook your boy up.
So endorsement earnings alone last season, Steph Curry made $42 million.
Oh my goodness!
So when it's all said and done, Steph Curry may have racked in $1 billion.
Well, so
when it comes to NBA endorsements.
So LeBron obviously is Mr. Billion-dollar athlete. And did you see today Rihanna just cracked $1 billion?
Rihanna did?
Yes, she did.
She hasn't come out with an album in like 3 years.
It doesn't matter. She's into all the beauty stuff and all the fashion.
I still knocked that album too. Anti. It's pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good. I love me some Rihanna. Not gonna lie.
Yeah?
Not gonna lie. Got Langford knows they got bangers on there.
So you're not Lemonade. You're on the Rihanna.
No, I'm on the Rihanna. Lemonade didn't do it for me. Sorry, Bayhive.
Do you think that was real?
I don't know.
Yeah, you better be careful. If you say that into the microphone, they're coming for you.
You're trying to set me up with the dude. Beyonce fans. Yeah, I'm not messing with them.
So is Bazemore still going to rock Curry gear when he's down in L.A.?
Hey, maybe he'll rock LeBron's.
No, he's Team Curry. I seen him on the golf course.
He's rocking LeBron's,
rocking
man.
all the Currys. No
He'll
way.
rock some LeBron's.
I am happy that Steph signed this because I can now take a deep breath and I don't have to hear from you anymore regarding Steph Curry leaving the Warriors.
You're a little worried about that, weren't you? You're a worrier.
Yes.
You are a worrier.
I am a worrier, absolutely.
The
but
Golden State Warriors. Sorry.
And that's what's coming up on the game.
I love you, dude.
Brought to you by Harris Ranch Beef.
Seriously.
We're going to get Casey on here to talk about the California Classic.
Yeah, I want to hype this thing up, dude. I've never been to Golden One Center, and I've heard from people, Golden One thinks it's better than Chase.
Kenny Caraway coming up shortly on 95.7 The Game, plus Ramona Shelburne from ESPN. Is John Curley here? I haven't heard from John Curley
And let's
all
get
day
back
today.
into Bumgarner in a minute.
All right, that's what's coming up at Harris Ranch Beef. They do beef that's raised locally right here in California. Tender steaks, awesome burgers, and California classics like tri-tip roast. Flavor you crave, quality you trust. Find a store near you at harrisranchbeef.com.
Hey, Gary, how are things?
Things are great, but
Hey, Langford, what's his name? Moody, Moses? Moses Moody?
Moses Moody.
What he did in college.
I mean, geez Louise.
I can't wait to see Moses Moody
beat?
today. This beat is clean.
This is Rap Snitches, MF Doom.
Oh.
I like that.
I like this.
I
Is
like
that the
that
guy
a
that
lot.
wore the mask?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know this one. I like this. Thank you. Langford, I love how eclectic your musical tastes are. I enjoy them. Let's get back into the Giants for a second, because there's some Steph Curry stuff in this article that was penned by Marcus Thompson of The Athletic. Giants lose a game last night, and Madison Bumgarner is the key protagonist in it, if you will. Antagonist, protagonist, what do you think he was?
Whatever word you want to use there. He was just efficient yesterday. That's what I would use. The word, he was efficient against the Giants yesterday.
It was refreshing to see him, and I miss him. And I'm going to be real with you. I'd be trying to make a move to get him back at some point. I feel like he's going to somehow, some way find his way back with the Giants.
So it sounds like Cole Helms is going to sign with Dodgers, a lefty, longtime Philadelphia Philly, played with the Rangers. He's been around a long, long time.
Yeah, he's been around the block more than J-Lo.
Right. Cubs. He pitched for the Chicago Cubs. I mean, I don't know how much he has left there, but the Dodgers closing in on him because they need more depth in the pitching. Of course, Trevor Bauer is probably not pitching again for the L.A. Dodgers. Also, Max Scherzer will make his Dodgers debut later on tonight.
I will be
the
checking
Astros.
the spin rate for Max Scherzer because it has been dipping since the announcement of the elimination of Spider Tack.
No doubt. And Walker Buehler actually lost last night to the Astros. Astros won 3-0. That game, I kind of had it on the phone going back and forth. That was some high-level baseball right there. Shut out the Dodgers. It was the first time the Dodgers have been shut out in interleague play since, I believe, 2017 or 18 or something like that. I saw that at sports. Like, what? What's going on there? So anyway, we'll get to Steph Curry here at the 9 o'clock hour. Ramona Shelburne will join us at 9:30 to talk about NBA free agency, what's going on with the L.A. Lakers, the Warriors competitor out there in the Western Conference. Lakers made a bunch of moves last night, or throughout the day. Malik Monk, they got none. They've got a lot of players there. THT re-signed with them for $32 million.
Such a great nickname.
Yeah, THT. I love it. But the Giants last night lose 3-1. They snapped their 3-game winning streak. Chris Bryant and company didn't do much with the bats because Madison Bumgarner looked like Vince's Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He just looked physically better than he's looked the last couple of years in terms of what his body looked like. I'm being real. He looked a little out of shape the last couple of years when he was in Arizona, and he's sweating big time. Maybe it was because he shaved the beard too, because the beard looked a little like trimmed down. He was using maybe that Manscaper clipper action that Guru was pitching for quite some time. But the dude looked fantastic. He had the changeup going. Obviously had that slurve. He had life on the fastball, even though it's only like 92, 93. The way he slings it, I mean, man, he looked good. I was just disappointed that Buster didn't play, that Crawford didn't play. And I know you're trying to go with the matchups. You got a bunch of games in a row. They got to get a day off somewhere. Just from an entertainment standpoint, can I get a Bumgarner Posey at bat?
I'm sick of this stuff. Honestly, that kind of grinds my gears about baseball. Is that, oh, man, the lefties up. We got to load the lineup with righties.
Right.
And I get some of the numbers back that up. But sometimes my best hitter's a lefty. You know what? My best hitter needs to be out there every single game. Because if that lefty does make a mistake, as to Brandon Crawford's hitting that ball really well right now. I need him in a lineup. Mike Yastrzemski is starting to turn it around. He's showing some power. I need him in the lineup no matter what. I don't care if there's a lefty on the mound. I didn't like the lineup last night. I really didn't. It just kind of laid down before the game even started to me.
Yeah.
That's what it was like. You know what? Showing too much respect to the pitcher. That's what I looked at the lineup last night. I'm like, you guys are showing a lot of respect to Madison Bumgarner. Throw a lefty in there or two.
Yeah.
Let Dickerson start. Let Yastrzemski start. I didn't like the lineup.
Duggar, his defense is really good, but his bat, he was at like 330 at one point, 340. It has slowly gone down. Now, Donovan Solano is starting to heat up a little because I was a little worried about him the last couple of days. But look, B, you're not wrong. I mean, they're going to need their top dogs, and it sounds like Tommy La Stella is going to be coming back. They need him. It sounds like they're going to put Donovan Solano as the backup shortstop and then option back Estrada. I think I'd keep Estrada up.
I kind of like Estrada, man.
Right?
He's playing well, plays good defense.
See, this is where I DFA Aaron Sanchez if I'm doing anything. Like, get rid of one of these pitchers.
Yeah, Aaron Sanchez, look, he didn't give up a run yesterday.
He's the human white flag.
But, man, it was like he was stiff. He was throwing 91. Every pitch he threw, I was just like, is he going to get hurt? What's up with his shoulder? what's going on here? But he walked 4 guys, but he didn't allow a run in 3 innings. So, look, he got the job done. He kept the Giants in the game.
I got to give you, from the 925, Madison Bumgarner is the original, quote-unquote, baseball Karen, yelling at guys for not running it out.
Now explain who Karen is to our great listeners here at 95.7 The Game.
Karen is now anyone on the internet who is just over the top. She was the lady, it started at Lake Merritt, correct?
Merritt, yeah.
Correct, where she called people out for barbecuing,
Right.
saying that they were illegally barbecuing, and then she hopped on the phone and called the police, and then somehow it turned around that actually not only was she harassing those people, no. She claimed she was the victim of harassment when it was all said and done. And Karen is now anyone who's just way over the top for any little reason. Am I missing this? Am I describing it properly?
And they're snitching. They're snitching for no reason. They're snitching. Oh, my gosh, these people over here are barbecuing. I don't think they're supposed to be here. There's a lot of people here barbecuing, and I'm just trying to walk my dog, and they're barbecuing, so let me call the cops and try to snitch, and it backfired on her. So that's a Karen. And Matt Bum wasn't the original baseball Karen. It was a little, that I think kind of turned some fans off. That was Barbecue Becky. She was before Karen. Barbecue Becky.
That was Barbecue Becky.
Barbecue Becky. Take your text line.
Barbecue Betty.
Barbecue Betty. Wow. And racist, of course. That's the big kicker there.
Yeah, that's the missing element. Yeah, the most important part.
There is that Barbecue Becky was super racist, no doubt. The Lake Merritt lady was named Permit Patty. Oh, she was asking if they had permits. Oh my gosh, Permit Patty. And yes, Permit Patty was racist as well. Madison Bumgarner. I don't want to call Bumgarner racist, but he did kind of rub some people the wrong way when he's telling Puig to run things out and Max Muncy to run it out and Carlos Gomez or whatnot. It was a little thing there.
He's a descendant of Pete Rose and the Rick Barry school of thought, which is old school style. Yeah. No doubt about it. But you know what, though? He did look good in that Arizona Diamondbacks uni. I like the turquoise on that jersey.
Yeah, I like the last 2 uniforms they've worn.
Yeah,
the turquoise.
How about the snake?
The
snake is
was
a cool
good.
logo.
I like those.
With the ball in the thing, yeah.
They just need to stick to it. Because it seems like they tweak their uniforms every 5 years.
I agree with that.
You got to have some consistency here. Build a tradition.
Yeah.
Like, stop tweaking. The Dodgers had the same damn uniform forever. Giants have had the same uniform basically forever. Stop tweaking it, man.
Yeah. All right, let's on the baseball thing real quick before we pivot to Steph Curry, because there's a lot of Steph Curry talk with the new extension. Big start for Gausman tonight, if I'm being honest with you. Like, just in terms of confidence for him, not necessarily, the overall team landscape, but, like, this is a guy that I had thought was their ace. And now I'm worried. And tonight is one of those games I can either, take a deep breath. It's okay.
It feels like a big August start for him.
Right?
It feels like a huge August start.
In the desert?
In the desert. The dog days of August. He can't find a splitter.
Chris Paul is the NBA Karen.
Oh, my gosh. Don't forget, if you're looking for sports betting content all day long, the BetQL Network is now available nationwide on the Odyssey mobile app and website. Over 10,000 home and auto-connected devices and at BetQLNetwork.com. This is wagertainment for every single fan, morning, afternoon, and night. Betting goes throughout the day. Insights from local and national experts, entertaining content to keep both casual and hardcore bettors engaged. Get sports betting tips from the best in the game. BetQL Network streaming now on Odyssey. Let's go up to Sacramento to the 916. My man was just in the ATL as one of the Black Bottle Boys sipping that blue. Oh, my guy, KC, Kenny Caraway, ESPN 1320, D-Lo at KC, Damian Barling, and Kenny Caraway do an excellent job up there from 12 to 4, Monday through Friday. And I think my man's going to be at the California Classic tonight. KC, baby, we trying to catch a vibe because Shasky and I are taking the show up the road up I-80 to check out the Warriors Summer League team.
Hey, look, man, it's about time. I've been saying my guys need to come on up by 80, man. Come up to Sacktown one time. You know I got you. Well, maybe even some champagne in the campaign. You know I'm going to treat you right when you come up here. You know what that is.
There's no doubt.
Here's my question, though, because I like the fog, and I will wear shorts in the fog. But, I want to look the part up there. Am I going to go with pants or shorts? Because it's going to be like 95 degrees at 6 o'clock at night. I might melt into the street, Casey.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't know if you guys are doing it with tickets or doing it with the media, but yesterday I wasn't sure either. It was hot as hell. I wasn't sure either. But this is a straight This is straight vibe up here, man. We got the Sam Amick's up there in the shorts. We got the Logan Murdochs in the shorts. We got, everybody just vibing. Even the media members vibing, man. It's a good time. So if you want to throw on some cargos or whatever you need to do, you're good, man.
I think I'm going to have to throw the cargos on, baby. That sounds like a plan to me. I love
Are you going to wear that same bucket hat you wore the other day?
No bucket hat, man. I got to show the waist, baby.
My
I may
dad
go with
did say it didn't fit you very well.
No, dude, that was the
My hat
biggest.
was too big and your hat was too small.
Well, that hat, Casey, that I was rocking at Santa Clara, in Santa Clara with Joe Shasky, that was the biggest hat they had in the store. The biggest hat out there. It fit my head well. It wasn't too tight. It looked small, but it wasn't too tight.
I mean, it had a vibe to it. At first, I thought it was an MCM hat. I was like, "Oh, that's the checks that Vontae's rolling." That's what I thought it was at first,
Hey, KC, real quick, we were talking Giants here. You're a big-time Giants fan.
Yeah.
Matt Bum was dealing yesterday. It feels weird still seeing him in a Diamondbacks uniform, but, man, that was Vince's bum last night against the Giants, who, look, they've been rolling, 3-game winning streak. They're still in first place. But, man, it feels like they need, like, Gosman tonight. Huge start for him after Bad Bum shut them down last night.
It's a big start for Gosman. I mean, one of the things going into the deadline, I really thought they needed one of each. And what I mean by that is they needed a bat. I thought they needed another starter. I thought they needed another reliever. They took care of the bat with my guy Chris Bryant for sure. And the starting pitching, the one thing I will say about this, and I know it's a big start for Gosman, but the games against the Cardinals, against the Cubs earlier when they had everybody, and against the Dodgers before they took 3 out of 4, I was worried. I was like, man, when you play these playoff-type teams, these playoff baseball games, I don't know if they have enough. And I was really talking about the offense. But one thing that I will say is the pitching was always there.
Mm-hmm.
If you look, and they was losing games 2-1, 3-1, where they gave up 2 solo home runs or something like that. So I'm with you. I want Gosman to kind of come back to what we know him to be this year with these starts in August. But at the same time, I think we're straight on the pitcher front. Maybe I was a little too critical of the pitcher. If they just don't have that dominant starter that puts you at ease, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody, it feels like they're put together with tape and bubble gum, you know what I mean? And they could fall apart at any time. But here we are, we're in August, and like I said, against these big teams, the starters and the relievers end up showing up. So at some point, I got to start believing in these guys a little bit in that rotation.
Kenny Caraway with us, KC and D-Lo. Best show in Sacramento. You can catch him out on YouTube, Twitter, KC and D-Lo. It's one of the best shows in the country.
It's a vibe.
And you got to get involved now, and you got to hit subscribe to their different pages. KC, I know you had a busy weekend. You were at Rick Ross's place.
I know, I'm
partying,
so jealous.
looking absolutely incredible. But me and B were doing some investigation reports, and I know B was supposed to go with you, but he ended up coming with me down to training camp. Should I wear a Trey Lance jersey to the Golden One Center tonight?
I mean, I'm going to tell you like this, because mine's on order right now. If you got one, you might as well get ahead of the curve. I'm trying to be calm. I'm trying to relax. But when this guy is kind of in the back pedal and throwing that thing on a rope 40 yards, I'm like, what you want me to do? What you want me to do, Butch? You want me to not be excited? Of course not. I got to be excited because this man looks like the goods right now. Trey Lance, and I've said for a long time, I said, I don't really care how Trey looks this year. I want Jimmy to play this year out. I'm conservative in that respect, right? I just let Jimmy do it. Let Trey get his feet under him. Get used to the NFL lifestyle. But like I said, I don't know if the man gonna be in the back pedal and hitting frozen ropes, hitting them on a dime. What you want me to do? What you want me to do, fellas?
KC, this is what you do. Listen to Cam Emmon yesterday on our airways on 95.7 The Game with Steiny Guru and Nick Friedel. Here's what he had to say about that Trey Lance throw.
He rolled left. He hit Trent Sherfield about 50 yards on the fly, and it just looked like one of the best passes I've seen on this practice field ever. And that's too much to say because it's just a training camp practice, but when it's a rookie who hasn't been in many practices and showed some poise and how to use that play and trust his receiver and just drop a dime downfield like that, I mean, it was really good to see.
And KC, when we was down there at practice Saturday, and we saw the first 3 throws that Trey Lance made, he threw an out route to Ross Dwelly and had so much zip on the football. Here's our reaction, Shasky and I, of that throw he made to Ross Dwelly Saturday down in Santa Clara.
When I seen him throw that ball, I was like, oh, my God. Just watching that game, I was like, Alex, you're in trouble, man. Alex, my boy, but that kid right there, he has to be on the field. And he has to play. Like, he has to play.
KC, Jimmy's my boy, KC. Trey has to play because Jimmy's in trouble, man. I'm saying, oh, my God.
Hey, man, look. I've seen what was it, Benjamin Albright talking about. I'm hearing it's Patrick Mahomes 2.0. I'm not trying to put that on the man, but you guys saw it even closer than I did. You can't deny what your eyes are seeing. I'm seeing the clips, and you just can't deny. You're trying to be responsible. You're trying to be, you just hold on a little bit. But you can't deny what your eyes are seeing. Your eyes are seeing what they're seeing. What you want my eyes to do?
Exactly. And here's the thing that, like, I'm looking right now, and I told this to B. I'm like, man, the Jets are going to regret this forever. Like, maybe even the Jets. Are the Jags going to regret not looking into them a little longer? But let me give you the flip side of this. It just got retweeted from Phil Perry, who covers the Patriots. On Mac Jones, Josh McDaniels just said, he's really good at getting yelled at. Hey, Casey, explain to me right now. Explain to me what the Golden One Center means to Sacramento, because I have long been a proponent that, like, I grew up here in the city and seen what AT&T Park, now called Oracle, has done for this side of San Francisco and just business in San Francisco in general. What it did to the business side of the Giants, what it's done to the on-field product and the trickle down there. It's been beyond anyone's wildest dreams. What has the Golden One Center been for Sacramento as a community? Because you are Mr. Sacramento.
Hey, man, the Golden One Center has changed everything. It's changed the game. In a lot of ways, it's legitimate. It's made us legitimate.
Hey, we've been botching names all day, KC, man.
Yeah,
it's early, dog. We haven't even had breakfast yet.
Hey, man, I'm still waiting on that first cup of coffee, man. I'm trying to do that. But, it's made them legitimate as a big city out here. And it's just something that it springs hope into what this city could be in the future, because the Golden One Center, that's the straw that stirs the drink out here. Everything comes from that. You got, this 5-star hotel that's right next to it. You got the restaurants going all down K Street. I remember I went to the NCAA tournament when I was out here a couple years ago, and it was the same day. It was a Friday, and it was St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, wow.
And I got outside of the Golden One Center, and they got it. You guys will see it, tonight. They got K Street, which is just this long, street with restaurants and bars and stuff like that, filled to the max. It was looking like Bourbon Street. I had never seen my city look like that ever before, and all of that is possible because of the Golden One Center. Wow. So they took a bit of a hit with the pandemic. The pandemic hit them.
Everyone did,
right?
With everything that was going on, but if we can get out of this and they can bounce back, I mean, the NCAA is coming back on the regular. Me and Bonte talk about it all the time. We got the tag team of the first 2 weeks in Sacramento, the last 2 weeks at the Chase Center. That's something the NCAA seems to love to do. So, I mean, we got that going on. And if the Kings could ever get good, I don't want to look. I don't want to be blasphemous. I don't want to be that guy. We saw what happened in Milwaukee in the Deer District and all this other stuff. That was for the finals. If the Sacramento Kings make the play-in game, I'm telling you, the aerials from what's going to be going on in Doco is going to be crazy. You're going to be like, what's wrong with these people? It's just the play-in game. Nah, it's ready. It's ready, and it's all because of the Golden One Center.
So the Warriors just signed Bielitsa, and I know he played for the Sacramento Kings. Not sure if you heard our hit yesterday, but we were basically creating a new remix for Bielitsa. Bielitsa! Bielitsa! What you think?
Hey, KC, your partner D'Lo said he basically quit on the Kings last year. Like he could shoot.
He quit on the Kings. That was. I hate to be like this because a lot of these guys, all these guys, really on the Kings, they're good guys. I've had a conversation with them. They're cool. But Bielitsa, I mean. If you wanted to see me, the meme of Smokey when he just kind of puts his head down and his head in his hand.
Yeah.
Every time Bielitsa got to the scorer's table, I was like, "Here we go." Sometimes he would surprise me and he'd have a good game. I think he's washed. But I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. I think he can and has potential to be more productive on a better team, like the Warriors.
Right. Okay.
Where you're not expecting so much of him. He needed to do a lot over here. He needed to defend. He needed to hit his open jump shots. He needed to be a high IQ player. Else, it would all fall down. Kanye West for the Sacramento Kings, right? He goes there to the Golden State. I mean, there's so many buffers around him. Maybe if he has anything left in the tank, it can be accentuated with the Golden State Warriors. But I think he's washed, though, personally.
You know what, Casey? I'm more excited about watching people try to spell Bielitsa. We saw that yesterday.
Oh, my God.
We had a few people try to spell Bielitsa. It was hilarious. Hilarious.
Man, you just go with the belly. You know what I'm saying? That's what you go with. You go with belly. Hey, for 3 years, 4 years, I still not even sure. BJELICA. I don't know.
Best scene in the movie Belly, is it when Method Man gets drugged and he's shooting it out in the club?
I don't know.
Come on. Method Man was a great character.
The opening scene was great. Yeah, it was. DMX with their Rastafarian, man, out there just chilling, watching soccer. They had some great scenes when they're out there in Jamaica, man. I mean, Belly, all-time classic. By the way, real quick.
Wasn't it DMX dressed up as the bum and he comes up and okay.
Yep. You already know what time it is. Hey, real quick, Casey, before we get out of here, the verses last night. Did you check out the Locks and Dipset? Because the Locks bodied them so bad, I don't think I could ever spin a Dipset record ever again.
Come on, man, don't say that, man, because I was heavy on Dipset, man. I was heavy on them boys, and I didn't watch. I was at the Golden One Center last night, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. The plan was to come back and check it out, but the tweets and the texts that I was getting, I don't even know if I want to watch that, man. That would hurt my heart.
Dude, it hurt my heart.
Jim Jones, capo status all day, and for the things that I've heard went down and what Jadakiss did to them boys, I don't even know if I want to rehash that.
Don't do it to yourself, because I can't spin a Dipset record. Casey, we're going to see you a little later tonight.
Yeah.
I'm fired up to catch that vibe up in Sacramento. Can't wait to go up to the Golden One Center. Kenny Caraway, check his show out with D-Lo, 1320 ESPN. He was looking so down. I'll ask you about Rick Ross in person, because I don't want to do it on these airways, because I may check out the show.
No doubt, fellas. You know you got a drink or two on your boy when you get up here.
Oh, I can't wait. Let's try to get Guru out there. I got a feeling he's going to ghost us.
Yeah, get Goo out here too, man. That's my guy.
He's going to ghost us, man.
I'm different.
He is different. KC, take care, man. Have a good show today.
Thanks, KC.
I'll take care. See y'all later, man.
All right, Kenny Caraway, ESPN 1320, D-Lo and KC. Check them out from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. They do a great job. Those are my guys right there, D-Lo and KC. We're going to talk to Ramona Shelburne at 9:30 and get into some Steph Curry comments. What's going on? Guru already texting you?
No, my boy Jason Cheese. He goes, "Is you the illest in Nebraska? Is you bad about it?" When Method Man comes up to him. That is the greatest line.
It is a great line. That was Cave from Menace to Society.
Was
it?
With
the long hair. Yeah, eating a banana and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, that was Cave from Menace to Society.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, that was Cave.
I'm going to have to look that up.
All right. What's coming up on the game brought to you by Stafford Healthcare? We're getting to Steph Curry. He has some things to say about his contract extension. It's coming up here on the Morning Roast.
For the 7th year in a row, Stanford Hospital has been ranked as one of the nation's best by U.S. News & World Report. Thank you.
only makes one kind of breakfast, your new favorite one. How do we do it? With fresh cracked eggs, oven-baked bacon, and flaky croissants. You know, the things your old breakfast wasn't doing. So toss that old news and its soggy eggs somewhere useful. And get to Wendy's, where the sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, bacon, egg, and Swiss croissant, and honey butter chicken biscuit are just 2 for $4. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $4.
Limited time only. Single item at regular price. Price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's.
For the ones going above and beyond. For the ones reaching out, helping out, and lending a hand. For the ones people count on. You can count on Grainger. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, backed by 24/7 customer support and specialists to help with hard-to-find products. Because you've got everyone's back. We've got yours. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Gonna miss you around here, Iris.
Olivia's best optometry technician is going back to school.
Did we get that new frame?
Her eye is already twitching about finding a replacement.
Ugh, this can't keep happening. We're gonna have to cancel appointments.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Screen for quality candidates with the skills your role needs with Indeed assessments. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The morning rush can be a beautiful thing. With the right granola bar, that is. Take a moment and take in the outdoors with Nature Valley Crunchy Bars.
Now, back to the morning roast, presented by Timeless Coffee.
Hey, BY, 15 years from now, when my daughter starts dating, hopefully it's a little longer, but I definitely want to reenact the scene from Bad Boys 2 when Reggie walked up to the door, man. I'm looking forward to that
Like
one.
Larry.
Yeah, you better come correct.
Hey, come in my office and see my gun collection.
With Kate, Bonte, and Shasky.
Gotta holler at Brian Young. That was Brian Young right there, the 49ers Hall of Famer, number 97, one of the best defensive linemen in 49ers football history. BY giving me advice on what to do when baby Chaz gets a little older and the guys start coming around. Beware. I got hitters on my squad. Hitters. Shasky may be there too. Oh, what's your name, dog? Well, I'm the butcher. With the butcher in your head anyway.
You know what I'm going to ask for when I get to the door, right?
What's that?
Can I see your W-2s from the last 3 years?
How much money is in those pockets,
I'm going to
baby?
need the last month's worth of statements here.
By the way, I love Lake. We're broke. I am broke. Kenny Caraway talk about those checks I'm making. What about the checks he's making?
I mean,
he's going to ATL on a dime. Short notice. ATL, Rick Ross house at the mansion. By the way, Langford, good job with that Jada Kiss song right there. We gonna make it. We gonna make it. We gonna make it. That first line, I can't really repeat it because it's rated R, and I'll get fined by the FCC. May even lose my job, but Jada Kiss put on a show last night on the Versus against the Dipset. Let's get to Steph Curry here as he signs his 4-year, $215 million extension, and my man is going to make $60 million in the last year of this contract. He sat down with Marcus Thompson of The Athletic. He got the exclusive. What Steph Curry signed that contract extension.
You think he went over to his house?
No, I think it was FaceTime.
Oh.
FaceTime audio.
FaceTime audio?
FaceTime audio.
That's how they're doing it?
That's how they're doing it, I
Okay.
think. MT2. Maybe he's up there in Sacramento. Maybe he's making the drive up to see Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody tonight at 5 p.m. because Steph Curry was asked about the 2 picks.
Okay.
And Steph Curry said, the draft picks, love them. There's a lot of potential in terms of trying to implement them early and continue to develop them. Yeah, the effort is there. Just being around the conversations, now he's talking about the front office here, just being around the conversations that some people are privy to and most people are not. We want to win. And if anybody was not with that, then we've got issues. And I don't think I've signed up for 5 years of that. So that's the vibe. We want to win. What do you think about that?
My question is, who do you think he was talking about that was on the roster last year?
Probably Kelly Oubre Jr.
Interesting. Because I feel like people on the text lines, on the internet, I think that they were pointing when people said wanting to win and youngsters, I think we disproportionately pointed the finger at James Wiseman. Wouldn't you agree?
And Steve Kerr.
Okay.
Because they took the chasing wins comment out of context.
I agree with that. Man, but it feels like that has Kelly Oubre written all over it, doesn't it?
It feels like it. It feels like it.
And I'm not, again, I don't want to single him out and isolate him. They're at different spots in their careers. Kelly is looking for a home to where he can cash in. Curry is completely solidified. And so for Curry to expect that Kelly Oubre and every single teammate on the roster is going to have singular focus on everything that he wants to do and just fall in line at every turn, there's no job situation like that in any industry across America. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Everybody's at different points in their life and what motivates them at that particular time. And it just didn't align with what the Warriors and Curry and them needed.
On the Warriors not adding another veteran, here's what Steph Curry had to say. He said, I would be disappointed if there was ever a vibe that you're complacent or that you're not proactive and looking to always get better. So if you're telling me we're trying to go after Batum, we're trying to go after Patty, and things didn't line up like that, then that's just how the league works. But if there's ever a situation where you don't feel that commitment from upstairs, then we have issues. I haven't felt this summer. I haven't felt like that this summer.
So now this one to me is bigger. Not so much about Batum and Patty Mills. More my reading between the lines on that is me and Joe talked. Me and Bob talked.
Right.
We're on the same page. Our thoughts are pretty much aligned. I'm going to okay it. They're going to okay things through me. Like, to me, that's the synergy that you're looking for between superstar player, GM, and owner, right? Because at any moment, if those things don't align, now we got problems. Wouldn't you agree?
No doubt about it. No doubt. And this is, a lot of stuff has been thrown on the internet, on the text line, and not all fans think like this. I think a lot of Warrior fans feel like these were the right moves.
Okay.
To pick up Jonathan Kuminga, number 7 overall, Moses Moody, number 14 overall, and they're trying to get veterans in here. They bring in Otto Porter Jr., a low-risk, high-reward move.
Okay.
Bielitsa to see, to fill a role, maybe play 10 to 15 minutes until James Wiseman gets back. I think there was a misconception about the Golden State Warriors where a lot of people think, oh, man, this front office really isn't trying to win. They're not trying to maximize Steph Curry's potential, where Steph Curry just comes out right now in the Athletic and says, I felt like there was a commitment. I haven't felt like there wasn't a lack of commitment. So, you know what? Steph Curry's happy. Here's what he also said about the upcoming season.
Before you get to that, Steph Curry's happiness, I don't think it can be understated.
It can't.
He can go anywhere he wants. He can make comparable money or depending
anywhere.
on, yeah, right? I mean, yes. Could he lose out on $50 million? Yeah, but he could make it elsewhere. Like, again, he's in the most taxed state in the entire union, okay? I want to let people know that. There is not a state that takes away more of your money when you're in his tax bracket than the state of California.
Where are we at right now? 13.5%?
I mean,
12.4%?
it's creeping up, bro.
I mean, it's you look at the check, man, you're like, damn.
Highest cost of living for him to own a home, highest cost of education if you choose to go the private school route. I mean, if you're Steph Curry, you could move to a cheaper locale.
Right. No doubt about it. And here's what he had to say about the upcoming season.
Mm-hmm.
Curry broke down the coming season into 3 parts. The beginning of the year till Klay gets back.
Okay.
Followed by the period of when Klay does get back. Then he's hoping for a deep playoff run while acknowledging that's a difficult road. He said the Warriors have a really solid team with a chance to take another step in the right direction, and who knows how it's going to look. But in 3 months from now, trade deadline, buyout season, if you're still not being aggressive and being honest with who we are as a team, that's where you have issues. So we always want to keep applying pressure there in terms of how we look at winning.
So that, to me, when I interpret that entire thing, is like, just like we've been saying, God, we got to see what Klay Thompson looks like before we can make any rash decisions, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
and Bob Myers said this.
I mean,
until Klay comes back, we don't know what type of team we have. And that's been on pause for 2 years now because of Klay Thompson's injury.
Well, and you were telling me about a report with Kawhi Leonard and Russell Westbrook where Kawhi was going to team up with Russell Westbrook and then quietly said, yeah, I think I'll go with your teammate Paul George. Steph is just so different than all these other stars. Now, all these other stars have all of these secret, ulterior motives and things that motivate them that are outside of what Steph Curry is motivated by. Clearly, he likes Klay Thompson, wants to try to make it work with him, see what it looks like with him before they pivot to the next phase, right?
Mm-hmm. No doubt about that. Here's what he said about Green's FaceTime. Draymond Green FaceTimed him from Tokyo. Here's what Curry said about that. He's heard every soundbite from me about how appreciative I am. Hell yeah, I wanted to sign that 3-year extension last year. It wasn't the right time, but I didn't have to put any pressure on myself last year to prove that I was that dude on the court to get this deal. This deal is the end goal of loving what I do and the journey and the self-confidence I have. So it all starts with gratitude and appreciation.
Wow. That's I mean, it sounds like vintage Steph Curry right there.
Sounds like Tim
Understanding
Duncan,
he's
right.
Tim Duncan didn't get
really
broken
talk.
off this much.
Yeah, that's true.
But, I mean, look, he's earned every penny. He's worth every penny. I told you on the business side what he's worth to this organization. But his loyalty and his understanding of, like, the grass isn't always greener. Even though, yeah, you might be able to ring chase and do things like that, there's more to his legacy. And here's the thing that this whole extension does for me. Now, we'll see what happens the last year or 2 or 3 or 4 on his career. God, I want him to be, like, one of the lone dudes of this era to be a one-team lifer.
I think it's going to happen.
Dirk, obviously traded on draft day. Right. Kobe, Reggie Miller. I mean, how many guys are really like that?
Yeah, Tim Duncan, Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Larry Bird. Michael Jordan, I wish he didn't play for the Wizards. Why'd you have to go to the Wizards?
I think most people associate him singularity.
Singularly. I didn't even realize Hakeem Olajuwon played with the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, at the very end. Yeah, at the very end.
But no, Bill Russell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Always a Celtic. Bob Cousy.
And if you look at just the Warrior lineage, Wilt Chamberlain obviously finished with the Lakers and other team. And then Chris Mullin traded to the Indiana Pacers, which stunk, but it was the right thing to do because of where the organization was at. Like, all their great players, Rick Barry bounced around.
Yep.
ABA back to the NBA to the Warriors,
Rockets.
bounced around. Yeah, obviously. Like, Curry would be the only one in the history of the organization to stay with the team the whole way through.
Yeah, that's crazy.
At that length.
And you know what? One guy we never bring up about that is Al Attles, who
Mr. Warrior,
player, coach, GM, front office ambassador of the organization. But Stephen Curry wanted to lock in on this deal. That's big time. And that's big time. And you know what? We discussed this yesterday, Shasky. It doesn't put any more pressure on the young guys now. Now they can just grow without having to worry about, man, do I need to really step my game up to help out Steph Curry? We got to get back to the championship right now. Now this really feels like a 2 to 4 year window to get one more championship that could be the cherry on top for a very special career.
I think it just provides a tremendous amount of clarity and certainty in terms of what the future holds. Forget 5 years, just the next 2 or 3. Like, you got Steph locked and loaded. You got Clay locked and loaded. I don't know what Clay that is. That's the uncertainty there. You got Draymond locked and loaded, and you got Wiggins for now locked and loaded. And then you got these young guys. So clarity provides the opportunity for you to make clear, emotionless decisions. Sometimes when there's so much pressure, you go all in like Daryl Morey did, and then you end up getting bit in the foot because it was all for nothing, and it's not the right move, and it's a penny wise, pound foolish situation. So I think him locking himself in provides tremendous clarity for the organization. I think it makes things, even if it's just a little bit easier, it makes things just that much easier for them.
Yep. Curry made, according to Forbes, nearly $77 million. Now it's for the 2017-18 season. The year before, he made $47.3. Boy, damn, he's going to make $1 billion when it's all said and done. I don't like counting another man's pockets.
No, but
this guy's going to make $1 billion, and he's worth every cent for what he's done for the organization, for what he's done for the community, and what he's done for the game of basketball.
I mean, you think about all the legends that are able to carve out pretty cool post-retirement situations for themselves. Think about Ronnie Lott, for example, right? Ronnie Lott, if you say the name Ronnie Lott, if Ronnie Lott shows up to one of your games, shows up to one of your banquets, your charity events, I mean, it's like walking next to like a Civil War hero, right?
Right.
I mean, he's a made man in the Bay Area. I mean, the guy's a straight up made man. And Ronnie's one of the all-time greats. Everyone loves Ronnie. He ain't on Steph's level.
No.
And I can't believe I'm even saying that.
Who's on Steph's level? When it's all said and done, it's going to be Joe. I think he's going to surpass Joe Montana. He's going to surpass Joe Montana. Steph Curry, I think he's already surpassed Joe Montana. What do you think about the social media era?
Yeah.
I mean, he's already there. Definitely on the Mount Rushmore.
Absolutely. And again, we've talked about this. He doesn't divide the fan base because there are Raider fans out there that are never going to like Joe Montana. And there are certain Niner fans who are mad that Jerry went to the Raiders and vice versa. And then you're going to have people dismiss Willie Mays or whatever player because they were an A's fan. So there's no doubt about it in my mind. Him unifying the Bay Area on both sides. Who doesn't like Steph Curry?
I don't know. Let's ask Ramona Shelburne from ESPN, of course. She's been doing great work. Just wrote an article about Kawhi Leonard or Russell Westbrook and the courting of Russell Westbrook. We'll get to that in a second. But senior writer for ESPN.com, Ramona Shelburne, kind enough to join us this morning here on the Morning Roast with Joe Shasky, the Butcher, and Bonte Hill. And Ramona, we were just talking about Stephen Curry, and who doesn't like Steph Curry as he signs this mega deal, 4 years, $215 million. He's now signed two $200 million contracts. He's going to make $60 million in that last year of the contract. But who doesn't like Steph Curry? I mean, we all love him.
You know, like, I'm with you guys. I mean, as you can probably see on my public ballot for the MVP, I voted him as the MVP last year. Like, to me, he's everything you want in the NBA in that as a player, he tries to play every night. Like, we don't see a lot of load management. He was playing on a team that was pretty bad last year without him, right? And, you know, gave us something to watch every night. Like, it was fun watching him. He plays with his joy and enthusiasm. And, you know, to me with Steph, it's like, I think the people that don't like Steph are the ones who need some kind of edge, are they who need some kind of, like, you got to have a snarl to you or something. Or they don't like you. So I've never understood it. It was a problem during their championship runs too, right?
Right.
Sort of. It's not just the babyface assassin. I think there's something maybe like, you know, his dad was an NBA player, so how hard did he have it?
Agreed.
You know, I think that's really all it is, but some people just don't like nice guys. I think that's really maybe it's as simple as that.
Nice guys finish last, Ramona. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Not last.
Well, yeah, I don't agree with that either. But, hey, Ramona, like, what was your whole opinion? Because about a week ago, you know, obviously we have the draft, and everybody's losing their minds about timelines. I mean, it's like crazy. I feel like I was in a Back to the Future movie. Oh, my God, these youngsters that the Warriors drafted don't fit that timeline of Steph Curry. What's Steph going to do? He's going to leave. He's not going to sign the extension. I feel like him signing the extension allows them an opportunity to, like, exhale and take a deep breath and assess this thing for what it is. They've got a 2 or 3 year shot here. They're going to probably try to do the best they can to develop these guys and see what version of Klay Thompson comes back. But doesn't him signing the extension enable the organization to have some clarity on where he's at?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with Steph. It's like he's an adult. He was always going to sign that extension. Like this, you know, we see so many of these stories of, you know, superstars putting pressure on their teams because they're unhappy. They don't know if they can win or whatever it is. Like, I remember talking to Steph last year for a story I was doing, and, you know, we brought up the extension and whether he would stay. And he just says the same thing every time, which is like, you know, it's really important for me to spend my whole career in one place. There's like, okay, you know, and that's just, if that's important to you and you're on a team and obviously you obviously want to win, you know, Joe Lacob wants to win. That's the owner. You know, Steve Kerr wants to win. Bob Myers, like, you know, everybody wants to. It's not like anyone's gotten complacent. If anything, I think sometimes the Warriors outsmart themselves a little bit. They're very aggressive and they try a little too hard, but I'd rather have that than somebody who just kind of resigns themselves to a middling team.
Right.
And so I think Steph, he trusts the guys who run the organization. He is hopeful that they'll be able to build through the draft, but also maybe there is a big swing. And I think Steph's pretty aware of what the organization is doing at all times. So, yeah, there was a lot of debate about what the Warriors could and should do, but I think people forget, like, they did try to trade for Bradley Beal. They did try. But it takes Washington to say yes. It takes Beal to say yes, right?
Wow.
You know, right? I mean, of course they.
What did that package look like, Ramona, for Bradley Beal? Because Shasky and I, we were like, don't trade for Bradley Beal because it felt like, from what we read, that it would have cost James Wiseman, Andrew Wiggins, these first-round picks. I mean,
it would have probably cost all those, but maybe not Wiseman. But Brad has to say yes, and Washington has to say yes. And if you're Washington, you don't really enter. You know what's out there. You listen to teams. Everybody called Washington, right? Like this isn't rocket science. Everybody called, but to me, it's like, of course they tried, but they can't make Washington trade him, and they can't make Brad say, I want out, right?
Right.
I think everybody, I think there's this sense that, like this was some kind of big choice, or they're going to do this. No, you try to do that, and if you can't, you can't. Like, then you make some really good picks and try to build the other way. Like, they're constantly reevaluating what they can do with this roster. And I don't – one thing I'd say about the Warriors is they're never afraid to make moves.
No doubt.
This is, if anything, they're aggressive in making moves. And so, to me, like, yeah, Steph signs the extension, but he was always going to sign that extension. And as you say, it gives everybody some stability is the right word. It gives people the stability to know, okay, we can keep making these decisions. We can keep doing this because we have Steph. He's the building block. And that goes back to something that we all wrote about so many times in the first couple of years of that dynasty, which is when you have Steph Curry, that's like your Tim Duncan. Like,
no
that's
doubt.
your guy that you can build around, that you can have faith in, that he's going to be there, he's steady. And like, the Spurs weren't always great when Duncan was there, but they just kept adding and they kept making moves. They kept trying to compete to win. And I think that's what the Warriors are doing here too.
Senior writer for ESPN.com, Ramona Shelburne, here on 95.7 Game with Chasky and Bonte on the Morning Roast. So where do the Warriors stack up right now in your eyes, Ramona? Because obviously they make the two picks here, Kuminga and Moses Moody. They'll make their debut for the Summer League team later on today in Sacramento. We're going to drive up to go see these two youngsters. It's all, obviously the key is Klay Thompson, right? Is Klay going to be Klay? Yeah. What's Klay going to look like here? But let's just say, hypothetically, Klay is Klay. Where do you think this team stacks up in the Western Conference?
I mean, look, Denver's not going to have Jamal Murray for a lot of the year, if not all. The Clippers are not going to have Kawhi Leonard for a lot of the year, if not all of the year. So what are we looking at? Lakers, Suns, Jazz? I'd say top four. Top four?
I like the way you're talking because I believe the same thing. Is anybody afraid of Utah?
I said Lakers, Jazz, Suns.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Portland's going to be, who knows what Portland's going to look like. Denver.
I would put Portland there.
Yeah.
Denver, to me, if they're not going to have Jamal, that's tough. So I think you got to look at it top four, top five. Depending on how good you think the Mavs are going to be. I personally think they're going to be pretty good. Because, oh my gosh, Luka Doncic is really good, right? Like that's a team to watch. But I don't know. I think the Warriors, the way they finished that year, that was really impressive. I know they would have liked to have gotten into playoffs, but you got a lot of good looks there for some of the young guys. I thought Jordan Poole was good at the end. We do have a question, obviously, of what Wiseman's going to look like because Steph really went on his run when Wiseman went down. There's spacing issues and there's other growing pains issues. So that's how quickly is that going to mesh? But I really do think Klay stabilizes so much of that because I've always had these thoughts of people's careers. So Steph and Klay. This is not to diminish Steph at all, but if you don't have Klay next to him, Steph's deficiencies as a defender, but also the spacing around him, they show up a lot more if you don't have Klay. And it's the same thing with Dame Lillard, right? You have his running mate is C.J. McCollum, great player, but not the defender Klay is. And how different are their careers if their running mates are different, right? If you just swap them, like if Klay's in Portland and C.J.'s in the Bay. I mean, it's I used to think that all the time with Melo's career. He never had a Shaq, right? He used to have that's how important Klay is to me. In the course of the Warriors' success, he really made that team work, and I hope we see some version of that.
Yeah, we all do. We all hope that we see some version of that. Look, we've seen the Warriors kind of gut their coaching staff and bring in a lot of new people that are great at player development, apparently. They take two of the youngest players in the entire draft, and they haven't been as active as some fans would like in free agency. It's kind of slim pickings because of their financial situation. What do you think about the blend of what they've got going with Wiggins and some of those guys, like obviously Draymond and Klay Thompson and whatnot? With some of these young players and kind of threading the needle next year in terms of getting back to what we were all talking about, being one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the West.
Yeah, so I think Wiggins is the key there, right? He made a lot of strides defensively to the point where they feel pretty good about him, out there on the wing and on the perimeter, and that's pretty important for him in his career. I mean, you wouldn't have said that at all in any time when he was in Minnesota, but he was being asked to be, should we call it, the second scorer on the team, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, second scorer. I mean, he's not a second. He doesn't eat second, right? As we say in the as the expression goes. So now I think he's more of a eat third or fourth guy, which is probably where he should be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good because then you don't have the pressure of having to be the second leading scorer every night, and the consistency of that. You can kind of focus on all the other things and defense and be opportunistic in your scoring. And so that's if Clay is healthy, if Clay is Clay. I thought Poole was good last year.
Poole DA came on after he got demoted to the G League.
Really liked him.
Yeah, he was good at the end there. So that was important. To me, the rookies are just developmental. Like I like both of them. I like Moody a lot, actually.
Right.
Minga is really good. I just don't know what we're going to see from him because he's still kind of raw. But really good player. Really good player. But that to me is, you can't count on those guys this year.
Right.
That's like a developmental 2-3 year project.
It's a bonus if they play well, Ramona. Let's be honest. It's a bonus if they give anything to the Warriors and contribute. Right. It's a bonus.
That's right. You just need to see enough from the three young guys, the three lottery picks. That from this 2 from this year and Wiseman from last year. You just need to see growth and development, but you can't count on them to be staples of your offense or your defense in the first year or two in the league. Most rookies don't hit their most young players don't hit their stride until like year 4.
No doubt. Lakers, real quick, Ramona. We're up against it here, and we do appreciate the time. What do you think about the slew of moves they made? They bring in Melo, Westbrook, apparently Kawhi and Westbrook. Kawhi was like, "Nah, I'm good off of Russell Westbrook. Give me Paul George." What the heck is going down in L.A.?
Well, I mean, I can't wait for those Laker-Clipper matchups when Kawhi gets back. It's going to be fun. I've been trying to report that anecdote for like 2 years because I heard about it at the time, but you just kind of need to really button up your sourcing on that before you report it, right? Mm-hmm. That was a fun, delicious anecdote. Like Kawhi is kind of like Kaiser Sose, right? I mean, that's what we've all learned about him behind the scenes. Like he's a puppet master, and you can say whatever you want about the ethics of that or whatever. I mean, Russ made the call too. So when you make a call like that, it can backfire and turn around on you. I don't know if he would have thought it would have those wide-ranging ramifications, but it did. In terms of the Lakers and their what it does for them, I have no idea. What do you think? I mean,
it's going to be must see. I'm rooting for Melo.
Great villain.
I'm rooting for Melo because I love the way he redeemed himself in Portland. A lot of people gave up on him. He plays some good basketball. Westbrook is the villain that we all love to hate, especially up here in the Bay Area. We can't stand Westbrook, but yet we can't take our eyes off of him. THT, none. They make a lot of moves here. They're a little older, no doubt about it. And Rattle, apparently, according to our text line, Ray Rattle said that the Lakers better sign a trainer to a $5 million deal because he's going to be working his ass off with the LA Lakers. I don't know. If LeBron and AD's healthy, they will be a top team in the Western Conference. That's what we do know.
Yeah. I think I kind of like it in the sense that it's going to be fun and interesting to watch, and I always root for the content, right? I always root for the entertainment. So that's what we're in it for. And I like the pairing of Westbrook and LeBron in the sense that, like, just from a culture and a discipline and a hard work aspect, like those two are up at the top of the list in terms of NBA players who set the tone in terms of their professionalism, work ethic. I think they're going to push each other. Like, I just think it's going to be fun and competitive between those two guys. Like, they're very hardworking, get up early, make sure everything is, be on that bus 15 minutes early, right? Like they're those that personality for those two guys is a lot closer than people realize. I don't know how it's going to fit from a basketball standpoint. Like, doesn't seem like a lot of space.
No.
Right? But there's ways. I have this vision of maybe they stagger their minutes a little bit, like Russ and they all start, but maybe there's more of Russ and AD playing with the second unit sometimes in a sort of fast lineup, get up and down the court lineup, because they do have some good young guys in that lineup.
Right.
You know, like I have this sort of there might be a sort of old slow guy lineup, half court offense.
Right.
A quick young guy, fast break offense. And it'll be fun from a coaching perspective to see how they manage those minutes. But LeBron's played with guys like that before.
Right.
Played with Kyrie, played with Dwayne. It was the same kind. I think Dwayne is probably the best comp for Russ to say, okay, look what Dwayne did when he started playing with LeBron. It took a year and a half for them to figure it out, but Dwayne really started getting better at playing off the ball. And if Russ can do that, which is what people have been asking him to do his whole career, I think it changes the trajectory of his entire narrative, like his entire story in the NBA. Like if he can make this late career adjustment to play with LeBron, and I think he can, because I think he respects LeBron. Like all the things you've been asking Westbrook to do, it's fine, but he's still the best player on the team.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now he's not. Now he's third.
Right. No, it's going to be fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
That's a great point, Ramon. I think he does make the adjustment, and he's going back home. Melo gets to play one of his best friends, LeBron James. L.A. Lakers, man. We're going to be watching from up here in the Bay Area. Ramona Shelburne, senior writer for ESPN.com. Ramona, we always thank you for the time. Check out our latest piece on Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard, some great nuggets in that story. Always a fascinating read. Ramona, keep up the great work.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Anytime. Ramona Shelburne here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. Let's get Sunny in Fairfield.
Okay.
And then let's go to this or that real quick, because it's a very interesting question that can lead right into Daryl the Guru Johnson.
Okay.
So real quick, Sonny, what's happening? You're in Fairfield. You've been waiting on hold for a while. Want to get you on here before we sign off.
Yeah, hey, guys. You guys were talking about Steph Curry and what he means to the Warriors and basketball at large. And I'm just one example. I'm a huge sports fan, right? Sharks, A's, Niners, season ticket holder. But I've never really been all that into basketball. Just for whatever reason, not my thing. But I will watch a basketball game if Steph Curry's playing. Like, I am tuned in. He'll do something that'll always make me say, whoa, every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. No doubt. Thanks for the phone call, Sonny. And Trey Lance is making throws in Santa Clara. That makes everybody go, whoa.
Like Rob.
What's going on?
What was the guy? Big Rob? What was the guy? Whoa.
Whoa. Oh, Black
Whoa.
Rob.
Black
Rob. Rest in peace to Black Rob.
He passed away.
When I seen him throw that ball, I was like, oh, my God.
Real quick, this or that, Langford. We haven't done this in a long time.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's day 44 of this or that. This is a
Will
great one.
McCovey Day.
It caught my eye.
Huh.
Stephen Curry or Magic Johnson? That or this or that. Steph Curry, Magic Johnson.
I'm
Magic Johnson
going to
Steph
take
Curry.
Steph, but most people outside of the Bay Area will probably still take Magic.
Well, it's a Bay Area radio station.
Yeah,
And
so is it
91% is going to 91% to Steph
91.
Curry, 9% to Magic Johnson.
9%'s high for Magic.
Magic Johnson, 5 championships, multiple MVPs, one of the greatest Lakers of all time with that smile.
9 finals appearances.
That's insane. And one of the best Twitter accounts out there.
And he obviously had to retire early.
Yeah,
I mean, he
no
left
doubt.
a lot on the table. So
He's got greatest memes.
Oh, yeah.
Greatest passes.
Absolutely.
Greatest gifts.
Worst talk show.
Worst talk show ever. Lasted one season. Remember that?
Oh,
Lasted one season. Let's bring in Daryl the Guru Johnson.
Give me the music.
From Steiny, Guru, and Dibs. Guru, what's happening, man? Showdown
you guys
time.
are crazy.
Showdown time, Goo.
Listen to it. Showdown at the OK Corral.
Oh,
Two
man.
gunslingers going up against the wily veteran.
By the way, some quick news here. The A's have just signed Chris Davis to a minor league deal and assigned him to their Arizona Complex League roster. Chris Davis back in the A's uniform.
Owner of the 3 worst throws I've ever seen in my entire life on a Major League Baseball diamond.
Guru.
Can I just say, Bonte, with that Chris Davis news, Butch, life comes at you fast. Man, this dude was the man.
Hey, he got his chicken
Are
though.
you talking to Jimmy Garoppolo right now or Chris Davis?
I'll tell you what, I thought the Niners season started in Detroit, but it starts August 14th, man. It ain't just you two. I give you guys the origin of saying what you felt. Dude, turn on the TV, national radios. They're talking about can Trey take it over? God, I just don't think Kyle has the guts to do it. I want it, but it can't happen, right?
Goo.
They wouldn't do that to Jimmy. See, that's where I'm going. They wouldn't do it to Jimmy.
Guru. He's been flirting with every quarterback in the league.
He
Kyle
was ready
Shanahan.
to leave him for Nick Mullins.
Dude, he was talking about Kirk Cousins during the Super Bowl week.
He traded everything to move up to 3 for him. He is so ready to arrogantly put it right in the middle of the table. Come
my
on.
goodness.
Did you see the throw yesterday?
Yeah. It was incredible. Physically, it's not even a contest. We know this. But why didn't you trade Jimmy if this was your plan? Because you guys might not agree with me. There'll be some humiliation if Trey Lance is the starter week 1. Don't they owe something to Jimmy? Like, we'll let him go out there and, maybe a game and a half and then pull him if it's bad. I'm not getting excited like y'all because I know it ain't going to happen. But
we're in show business a little, and I didn't realize this. When you're done, you're done. And they don't give you a last show.
Damn. They just cancel you.
One day, I'm just not going to be on the air. And the next thing coming is just going to be on.
That email's coming, Guru. That email will just come. Ponte Hill's no longer part of 95.7 The Game. We wish him
let
the
me
very
ask you
best.
this about your baseball.
He's in a spring training facility right now, working on his throwing. Give it to me.
You got LaStella, Longo, and Belt coming back. Who are going to be the odd men out?
I'm not convinced Belt comes back, number one. Darren Ruff's playing too well right now for me.
Hitting them.
Yeah, but look, the odd man out is easy for me. Donovan Solano cannot be your backup shortstop when LaStella gets activated. I'm DFAing, what was the pitcher's name? Aaron Sanchez.
Aaron Sanchez.
There's no question about it. And honestly, probably Austin Slater as well if he's out of options.
I'm not mad at that.
Just
and
the
these are
reality
good
is.
problems to have. And I'll say this about the Dodgers not being able to gain ground.
I missed Bum.
I know I'm rambling. The Giants don't have a Cody I'm blind Bellinger in their lineup. I mean, his at-bats are faster than a cup of noodles in the microwave, Bonte. It's strike 1, 2, 3's out. They got dudes that would approach.
Where do you get this material
I know,
from?
seriously.
That is just legendary. Hey, Guru, you talk about the regular season starting for the Niners August 14th. Doesn't this feel like the biggest start of the season for Kevin Gosman, who's been struggling since the All-Star break?
It does, but I feel like they got so much equity, the team as a whole, that if he continues maybe 2 or 3 more bad ones or, subpar, Bonte, they still been moving in the right direction. So it's a big one, but what if it goes all bad? You ain't giving up on them.
No, of course not. You have no choice. Okay. You have no choice.
There you go.
What you guys got coming up in the midday?
No, forget. One second. You better not flake on us tonight at the Golden
I forgot
Center.
about that.
The Golden One Center. Here we go.
I got to ask the wifey, can I go out with Butch? Boy, sit your ass down. Okay, Butch, I can't go. We'll see.
You can't even bring up my name,
That was the flakiest commitment of all time. We'll see.
You can't even bring my name up, Goof. Why shut that down?
Can't. She's in a good mood right now, but I'll keep you guys posted.
That's a no.
Hey, but we're talking about Steph Curry, the $200 million contract, the Warriors free agency. I like it in draft. And then what you guys are talking about and what the world's talking about. Can the young gun actually start week 1, fellas?
Oh, my God. Is the band back together today? Is Dibley back?
Yeah, we got Dipper Claus.
Let's go.
Hashtag full squad, baby. Middays 10 to 2. Can't wait to hop in the car and listen. Goo, good stuff as always, Goo. Always love talking to you,
man.
I'll
see you tonight when you ghost us.
Shasky, I'll see you at like 1:30 when we start driving up to Sacramento to beat the traffic.
Yeah,
I'm taking a big-time nap here. Baby Chaz, let me sleep. Please. That's it for us. Curly, Langford, good stuff as always. Ramona Shelburne, Kenny Caraway, and Jason Aponte. Jason Aponte really good on the roast today on 95.7 The Game, breaking down 49ers football. That's it for us. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody, and stay tuned. Stay locked in. Steiny Guru Dibs next right here on 95.7 The Game.
Don't miss a second of Steiny Guru and Dibs.